Chapter 624. Yi Jingqing changed his clothes and walked out of the bedroom. Then he received a call from Mu Tangxue. Jingqing, can you come and save me? I'm trapped in the mountains. I don't dare to run around now. Jingqing, come and save me. Tangxue, I'll call the police now. Tell me where you are. Tell me now. The signal on Mu Tangxue's side was intermittent, but she insisted on telling him an address. Although Yi Jingqing had never heard of that place, he quickly took his coat and went out when he knew that Mu Tangxue was trapped there. He wanted to call the police. If Xing Zhao's men were really looking for Mu Tangxue, he must bring the police there as soon as possible. But he did not know that it was an eye for an eye from Xing Zhao. Since he wanted to use someone who was not from Jianchuan to deal with Xiao Qi, Xing Zhao would certainly play along with him. Let's look for her in the mountains. It was going to be a stormy night anyway. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Mu Qiqi arrived home on time. By then, the dress she had chosen had already been fitted according to her measurements. Mu Qiqi washed away her tiredness and stood in front of the dressing mirror to try on the dress. It was a strapless A-line high-waisted dress. The combination of beige and dark green made her look like a noble lady from medieval France. Especially when it was worn by Mu Qiqi, it accentuated her good complexion and liveliness. All right, madam. Chief Sheng will come and pick you up at 6 o'clock. The stylist had even styled her hair into a bun. Her hair was loose and fluffy, making her look even more lively. Thank you for your hard work. Mu Qiqi almost fell asleep. It had been a long time since she attended a formal event with Xing Zhao, except when she accompanied him to the cocktail party. So, Mu Qiqi was a little nervous when she attended the state banquet this time. After all, the people she was going to meet were not businessmen. They were all big shots who often appeared in the news. At the police station, Feng Shanshan had just sent off the group of haters. It was New Year's Eve after all. Everyone wanted to go home to celebrate the new year. Seeing that the sky was getting dark and there were no other cases, Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yan. She wanted to tell him that they should go home early so that they could spend New Year's Eve around the fireplace. But the bachelor in the police station invited Tang Yan to have a drink together. Captain Tang, now that the body has been returned and properly buried, Mu Qiqi is going to the state banquet. Can we also have a good New Year's Eve? After all, a group of bachelors would be lonely when they go home. You guys go ahead. I still have to keep an eye on the safety of the district. Tang Yan refused directly. No way. Captain Tang, how are you going to find a girlfriend like this? You don't even relax during the new year. It seems like you don't want to drink, but want to look after the safety of the district with me? When the group of men heard Tang Yan's threat, they immediately changed into their casual clothes. Then we'll go home. Junior sister Shanshan, do you want to join us? A senior brother deliberately winked at Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan crossed her arms and shook her head. I'll pass. I have something to do tonight. Tisk, so boring. They left the police station in a hurry. At this time, Tang Yan looked down at Feng Shanshan and asked, "What's the matter? Can't I have something to do?" Feng Shanshan snorted coldly. "I thought you would spend the new year with me. If there's no report, we'll go home." "Who wants to go home with you?" Feng Shanshan said proudly. But in fact, both of them knew that they were alone. How could anything happen to them? Feng Shanshan's only friend now was Mu Qiqi. If Mu Qiqi went to the state banquet, who else could she look for? Tang Yan knew that Feng Shanshan did not mean what she said, so he did not say much. He just looked at the rain outside the door and hoped that everything would be fine tonight. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Yi Jingqing finally found the location Mu Tangxue gave him with the police. It took them 4 hours to get to the top of the mountain. However, there was not even a shadow, let alone a person. Yi Jingqing was a rich man's son. He had never been so embarrassed before. It was all thanks to Xing Zhao. Yi Jingqing couldn't find her, so he called Mu Tangxue. He saved the number, but the voice message told him that the number was turned off. In other words, he couldn't provide any more information to the police about the search. The police prepared to go down the mountain. After all, there was no sign of anyone on the mountain. They could not continue wasting time here. Yi Jingqing's report was just a one-sided story. You can't go. We haven't found the person yet. Chairman Yi, please don't waste our police resources. No one has ever come up here before. Even a man can't survive up there, let alone a woman. There are wild and ferocious beasts in there. It's the new year, please don't mess with us. Believe me, Co Yi, I'm really sorry. We have to go down the mountain. The rain is so heavy. I have to think about everyone's safety, said the leading police officer. Yi Jingqing's face darkened. Yi Jingqing's face darkened. He did not believe that there was no one up there. But, where was Mu Tangxue? She had sent him the address and said that she was here. She would not lie to him. Could she have been taken away by Xing Xiao? Thinking of this possibility, Yi Jingqing immediately called Xing Xiao. But Xing Xiao's phone was switched off. After all, Xing Xiao had already left Banyan Courtyard with Mu Qiqi and was about to reach the venue of the state banquet. The people attending the state banquet were all big shots. Mu Qiqi was very nervous. After all, she was scolded badly yesterday. Wouldn't she be laughed at if she attended such a grand banquet today? Xing Xiao might have noticed her nervousness, so he held her little fist and said, "I thought you were not afraid of anything. It turns out that you have something to worry about." "I'm afraid that I will embarrass you," said Mu Qiqi. Xing Xiao pinched her palm and looked at the ring between her fingers. He smiled. "You just need to stay by my side. Leave the rest to me." Mu Qiqi took a deep breath and tried hard to calm herself down. When they arrived at the entrance of the state banquet hall, she finally knew how big the event was. The guests walked up the red carpet one after another. Xing Xiao helped Mu Qiqi down from the black Rolls-Royce. Because of the handsome man and beautiful woman, they received a lot of attention. However, the big ring between their fingers announced to the world that they had completed the big thing in their lives. They were a couple now. Chapter 625. But just as they took out their invitations and were about to enter the banquet hall, Secretary He stopped Xing Xiao in the corridor. "Excuse me." Xing Xiao did not let go of Mu Qiqi's hand, although he could guess Secretary He's intention. "I didn't expect that you would really bring little sister-in-law here, Secretary He. You know that I only have one little thing. I keep holding her in my palm and doting on her. I don't have any other request, I just want to keep her by my side." Xing Xiao looked at Secretary He seriously. "I can compromise on other things, but I want to be stubborn to the end when it comes to Secretary He looked at Xing Xiao and then at Mu Qiqi. In the end he nodded his head. "All right, I've also seen little sister-in-law's interview. It's not that I have anything against her or anything else. You have to know that your marriage has not been recognized and protected by the country's laws. Little sister-in-law's identity must be awkward at such an event. Moreover, your looks would decide it. There would be many ladies who would send you signals of interest, and I'm afraid little sister-in-law would be hurt if she's here. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on her." Secretary He could not do anything about Xing Xiao, and could only do his best to help him. After all, they had known each other for half a year, and he knew what Xing Xiao valued the most. Mu Qiqi held Xing Xiao's arm without a word. She knew that what Secretary He said was the truth, and it was hard to avoid it. But since she was Xing Xiao's woman, she would never back down in such a situation. "Let's go in." Xing Xiao led Mu Qiqi into the main hall of the state banquet. Inside the hall were all powerful and influential people. They were either philanthropists or military officers with outstanding achievements. With her current status, being able to enter such a place and witness such a grand occasion was really the most extraordinary experience in her life. Everyone had the entire process of the state banquet in their hands. An hour for the award ceremony, an hour for the performance, and finally the banquet. And the president's attendance would undoubtedly be the climax of the event. Mu Qiqi's nervousness was swept away, and there was a hint of anticipation in her heart. Attending such a banquet will give people a sense of honor and responsibility, Mu Qiqi murmured. Then she tilted her head to look at Xing Xiao's side profile. Under the soft light, his handsome face looked even more dignified. Especially today, he was wearing a dark green suit. His fashion sense and nobility made him stand out among the crowd, making people unable to take their eyes off him. It was precisely because he was eye-catching that he attracted the attention of countless women at the scene. It was just that he already had Mu Qiqi by his side. This naturally aroused the jealousy of other women. "Isn't that the female lead who's been on the news for the past 2 days? The one who poisoned my sister. That's her. This young lady is a regular on the news headlines. Maybe she has a rebellious personality. With such a background, he dares to appear in such an occasion. Does he really not know his place?" The sound of ridicule lingered in his ears. Still, Mu Qiqi pretended not to hear anything and did not let Xing Xiao notice the scheming thoughts between the women. Both of them followed the flow from the banquet hall to the award hall, where the elites of different social classes would be given their awards. Xing Xiao was one of them. But did she think that Xing Xiao did not hear it? He could not speak for his little one now. But there would be a great opportunity later. Soon both of them sat on the chairs below the stage. But the granddaughter of one of the generals was sitting next to Xing Xiao. She showed an admiring look when she saw Xing Xiao sitting beside her. But Xing Xiao simply switched seats with Mu Qiqi. "You sit here." Before Mu Qiqi could understand what was going on, Xing Xiao had already placed her on the seat and put his hand on the back of her seat, declaring that he had taken possession of her. The beauty beside Mu Qiqi immediately showed a provocative look and looked at Mu Qiqi. I know you. Hello. Mu Qiqi was polite. You're the woman who killed my sister in the news. Mu Qiqi knew that she was doing it on purpose when she heard that. She smiled. It seems that you're not well informed enough. I've already clarified the matter this morning. So what? You're just a medical examiner. No, I should say that you're not even a medical examiner. Perhaps I'm worthless in this lady's eyes, but I'm worth $1,000 in my husband's eyes. Am I right, Xiao? Mu Qiqi turned around with a smile, retorting as she asked Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao held Mu Qiqi's head and stroked it. His meaning was clear. She did not have to bother with irrelevant people, and there was no need to explain deliberately. The beauty was furious at that. It was not easy to see a man with a bright future and outstanding looks, but he was going to lose to an inconspicuous girl. It was really unsettling. But because of her identity, she would not continue to trouble Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi leaned against Xing Xiao's arm, enjoying his protection. In my eyes, everything you've done has created enough value for this world. Not everyone can be compared to you. Mu Qiqi could not help but smile at that. I also firmly believe that everything I do is not inferior to others. Silly thing. The girl beside Mu Qiqi showed a look of extreme disdain as she listened to their conversation. Mu Qiqi was a country bumpkin. Why do you have to be so sacred? I've already had dinner with the president many times. Isn't it because of your father or grandfather? Mu Qiqi asked in return. The girl was left speechless. Then what have you done that's valuable? I can learn from you. Although Mu Qiqi did not like such occasions, she would get used to it. After all, she did not think that she was shameful, nor did she think that she was inferior. Xing Xiao reminded Mu Qiqi when he saw that the girl was speechless. Be careful. Don't bully a weakling. I'm going to the washroom. Mu Qiqi nodded. When she saw Xing Xiao getting up, she gave the girl on her right a look of thanks. Isn't it just a money grubber? What's so great about that? After hearing that, Mu Qiqi did not plan to reply. But at that moment, the woman sitting on the girl's right could not help but say to her, Your grandfather has been my grandfather's subordinate for so many years. I haven't even said anything. What are you so proud of? The girl blushed. Sister Ling, I didn't see you sitting beside me. It's clearly an admirable thing for a little girl to be a forensic doctor. Why is it so vulgar when it comes from your mouth? Are you still so narrow-minded after so many years? Sit behind me. I get annoyed when I see you. Chapter 626. Then the girl went to the back seat. It was then that the woman who helped Mu Qiqi just now responded with a smile and sat beside her. Logically speaking, your grandfather is the chief of the military and your uncle is the mayor of Jianchuan. Your background is no less than that thing just now. Why don't you come out and help yourself? It's not like I'm being troubled. Mu Qiqi replied. I'm just not used to this kind of occasion. After all, everyone here is either rich or noble. I don't want to cause trouble for my family. My name is Li Ai. I'm a few years older than you. You can call me Sister Ai. Hello, Sister Ai. The one who troubled you just now is the daughter of the Qin family. Her name is Qin Xiao. You should pay more attention to her. She's the only daughter among the 10 or so boys in the family. That's why she's so spoiled. Mu Qiqi nodded gratefully. However, she did not look at Qin Xiao. To her, as long as it was someone she met tonight, she would not have much interaction with in the future. Therefore, she did not have to deliberately remember them. After a while, Xing Xiao returned to Mu Qiqi's side. He frowned when he saw that the woman had moved to the back seat. But he still sat down quietly. What happened? Nothing. Mu Qiqi tilted her head. The award ceremony is about to begin. On the stage not far away, the well-known MC spoke wittily, making the atmosphere relaxed and cheerful. Soon, the award ceremony began. The top 10 influential people of the year, the top 10 outstanding contributors, and the top 10 outstanding youths. It was a national honor. Mu Qiqi watched with her own eyes as the outstanding people took the stage. She finally understood what it was like to have a family and a country in their hearts. Finally, the top 10 outstanding youths were awarded. Sheng Zhao's name was ranked last because there were the most descriptions about him. Zhongting was born in just a year. But this outstanding talent is invincible in the business world. He transitioned from the diamond and jewelry industry to the military industry. What you don't know is that last year, Zhongting developed as many as 65 new technologies related to military supplies. Among them, 60 have passed the national certification and will be widely used in the military in the future. Not only that, this 28-year-old CEO has also dabbled in the development of many novel fields. He has even begun to research new weapons and has achieved preliminary results. We have reason to believe that Zhongting's future represents strength and confidence. The confidence of our country in ourselves. Mu Qiqi tilted her head to look at Sheng Xiao. She looked at her man. She really did not expect that he had done so many things in just a year that she did not know about. Mesmerized? Sheng Xiao turned to look at Mu Qiqi as well. He knew the look in her eyes. It was the same look she had when she was infatuated with him. Hurry up and get on the stage. The host is calling your name. Mu Qiqi quickly reminded him. Sheng Xiao reached out and hugged her. Then he got up and walked to the podium from his seat. He was one of the few people who had ability, talent, temperament, and good looks. It would not be an exaggeration to describe him as handsome and unruffled. On the other hand, Sheng Xiao had been cynical and dangerous a year ago. Chief Sheng, please come to the front. The host gestured for him to come. And please, let's welcome the presenter. None of the presenters here were simple nobodies. For example, the one who presented the award to Sheng Xiao was the second in command of the military. The audience below the podium knew very well that someone of such status could be sent to present the award to Sheng Xiao. It was clear that his contributions were worthy of respect. Chief Sheng, please speak on behalf of the outstanding youth. As the applause rang out, Sheng Xiao held the trophy and stood in front of the microphone. It's been almost a year. The entire team of Zhongting and I have done a lot of research and experiments. Now, Zhongting finally has infinite possibilities. As the host said just now, I've done 65 studies. 60 of them have passed the test and will soon be put to use in the military. But you definitely don't know why I've put so much effort into trying to change the working environment of soldiers. Not only soldiers but people in other industries as well. Halfway through, Sheng Xiao suddenly looked at Mu Qiqi and pointed a finger at her. Because of my little wife. Ever since she became a forensic doctor, she had to deal with all kinds of corpses every day. There's always an unbearable smell on her. That's why I thought if there's any way to stop her from being troubled by that problem. And because of my understanding of her, I started thinking about various industries, and it's also because of those thoughts that I've put in a lot of research. My wife's existence makes me feel the weight of my responsibility. I also hope that my ability can really be used by society. After hearing that, the host couldn't help asking, Chief Sheng, did you tell your little wife about the research you've done? Sheng Xiao shook his head. She goes to school during the day and interns at the police station at night. Sometimes she's called out for field work in the middle of the night. I can see that you seem to support her career. At the mention of Mu Qiqi, the audience below the podium could clearly feel Sheng Xiao's face softening. She's not just young. She's petite too. But she has a soul. To me she's my equal. Sheng Xiao answered seriously. A person's true value is to contribute to society. Seeing her little body working hard every day to find the murderer, I, as her husband, would certainly be more disciplined than her. Then it seems that Mrs. Sheng has contributed a lot to Zhongting's greatness. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao from among the crowd. Sheng Xiao was also among the crowd, looking at Mu Qiqi. The couple's eyes were shining like stars. It was fine if others did not understand. As long as they understood each other, they would have the whole world. Then Sheng Xiao walked down the podium step by step and returned to Mu Qiqi's side. Mu Qiqi looked at him, her heart softening. You never told me about this. I thought I was just a mischievous burden to you. You never see how much influence you have on me. Didn't I tell you before? You don't have to do anything when you stay by my side. I know how to absorb nutrients from you. Chapter 627. It's my way of loving you. Mu Qiqi looked down at their entwined fingers and could not help tearing up. I will become a better and more respectable person for you. Naturally, Sheng Xiao's words drew the attention of many in the crowd. Although there were more discussions about Mu Qiqi and Mu Tongxue in the beginning, the guests had reason to believe that the woman who could change a man from being feared to being respected by all was not too bad. That was why the guests had more praise for Mu Qiqi after the award ceremony. They called her a winner in life. She had such a successful husband, such a perfect love and such an interesting soul. Even the guests began to use Mu Qiqi as a role model in front of their children. They were even much friendlier when they struck up a conversation with Mu Qiqi. That was why Sheng Xiao had said those words on the podium. Her already had everything, but she still wanted to be a student and a forensic assistant at the same time. That was a resounding slap to the uneducated rich second generations. Soon, the couple entered the hall where they could enjoy the performances. Since it was a state banquet, the program was a little boring, and the couple spent the entire hour chatting. Then it was time for the main event. The state banquet. As the guests entered the banquet hall one after another, Secretary He walked up to Xing Xiao and clapped him on the shoulder. You scared me so much that I broke out in a cold sweat. But after thinking about it, the main reason is that I did not trust you enough. I thought that young people are impatient, and you are such a hot-blooded man. Still, I think I can rest easy after seeing your performance tonight. You've matured quite a lot, brother. How else would Secretary He entrust me with such an important task? Xing Xiao chuckled. You're now someone the second in command of the army has taken a liking to. He was just praising you and soon you won't need me anymore. Secretary He smiled mysteriously. Still, I know you're a loyal kid, which is why I'm not afraid of you tearing me down. Come, let's find a seat and talk while we eat. The president is here. Did you guys see him? Mu Chichi looked into the crowd and saw the person she usually only saw on TV. Now he was under heavy protection. She was also someone who had met the president. Then Mu Chichi was about to sit down when Li Ai called her from behind. Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi turned to look at Li Ai, her face clearly puzzled. Li Ai pointed at a certain part of her body in embarrassment, meaning that her relative must have come to ask Mu Chichi if she had that thing on such an important occasion. Mu Chichi shook her head. This was not the time for her relatives, but she still grabbed hold of a passing waiter and asked him to think of a solution. This could be considered as repaying Lin Wan for helping her out just now. But just as she turned around to sit next to Xing Xiao, she was suddenly tripped by a passerby. Mu Chichi lost her balance and fell to the side. Fortunately, Xing Xiao caught her in time. Mu Chichi blushed as she leaned into her man's arms. What? Do you want to embarrass yourself at the state banquet? Mu Chichi shook her head. That's what I'm most afraid of, so I was very reserved the whole night. What are you afraid of? You fell down but didn't I catch you? At most, we will embarrass ourselves together. When Mu Chichi focused her gaze, she realized that Xing Xiao was holding her hand, while the guests around them were all staring at them with smiles on their faces. Hurry up and sit back down. Brother, if Mu Chichi is not young, you would really be laughed at. Secretary He laughed. But you can't stop little sister-in-law from being young and energetic. It seems that most people can understand you now. I've told you. That's the only treasure I have. Xing Xiao watched as Mu Chichi said that before resuming his conversation with Secretary He. Just then, Qin Xiao brought her grandfather to Xing Xiao and Mu Chichi's table. From their expressions, it seemed that they did not come with good intentions. Shameless brat. You still have a long way to go. How dare you be so arrogant now? With that, Grandpa Xing deliberately arranged for Qin Xiao to sit next to Mu Chichi. You sit here. I want to see who dares to bully you. Qin Xiao gave Mu Chichi a smug look. But Mu Chichi did not care about her at all. Xing Xiao and Secretary He did not even bother to look at them. Before the state banquet began, the president gave a speech and wished everyone a happy new year. Then, the sound of fireworks was heard outside the banquet hall. This new year had indeed passed with extraordinary significance. 40 minutes later, the banquet was coming to an end. Because they still had to go home for a reunion, the guests began to leave their seats one after another. At this time, the old man of the Qin family walked in front of his granddaughter and said, Jiao Jiao, Grandpa has already helped you vent your anger. Just now when your Grandpa Lin was talking about those outstanding youths, I directly told him that those people are nothing more than snakes and rats. They are being praised. Don't be angry anymore. Follow Grandpa home. Qin Xiao snorted. Mu Chichi knew that the old man was talking to her, but she ignored him. I'm just not used to seeing her. Jiao Jiao, you are a noble person. How can you compare yourself with others? Be a good girl and go home. To Mu Chichi he was just an old man who spoiled his granddaughter. So she did not respond to his sarcasm. She pretended not to hear it. Mu Chichi, are you deaf? With those words Mu Chichi turned around. But Xing Xiao grabbed her shoulder. Wipe your mouth. Let's go home. All right. The legendary CEO that no one dares to mess with is just SOSO in my opinion. Qin Xiao continued to cause trouble for them. Old Qin, you are unreasonable. She is not the descendant of a hot-blooded soldier. Xing Xiao did not even look at Qin Xiao. He said to Grandpa Qin, it's fine if you spoil her at home. But you should know that you can't protect her forever. The more enemies you allow her to make, the more swords she will get stabbed in the future. If you don't teach her well, someone will teach her for you in the future. Old Qin, you have been a soldier all your life. You should understand this, right? I brought my wife here today. I did not provoke Miss Chen. I even tolerated her many times. If you are too aggressive, I don't mind teaching your descendant a lesson for you. After all, I'm still young, am I not? Chapter 628. What an arrogant brat. What an arrogant tone. Grandpa Chin snorted. But my granddaughter is born to be pampered. She is not someone that a bunch of merchants like you could compare to. Miss Chen's pampering is only in the eyes of the Chen family. Outsiders might not spoil her as well. After saying that, Xing Xiao prepared to leave with Mu Qiqi. But Qin Xiao took the opportunity to grab Mu Qiqi's arm. Don't get too full of yourself. We will meet again soon. Mu Qiqi pushed her away when she saw Qin Xiao pestering her. My time is spent with my family and autopsies. Miss Qin, not everyone is as free as you. Just wait and see. With that, Qin Xiao walked in front of Grandpa Qin in a huff. When Grandpa Qin saw that his granddaughter had left, he quickly chased after her dotingly. Mu Qiqi shook her head when she saw that. I hope I won't meet such a pampered lady again. Xing Zhao's lips curled into a smile. Then he patted the back of Mu Qiqi's hand. Let's go home. Since there's nothing else, I'm going home too. Your sister-in-law is rushing me. Secretary, he said to them when Grandpa Qin left. Mu Qiqi smiled and waved at Secretary He, but she could not move her feet. Xiao, wait. We will leave after the other guests have left. Xing Xiao frowned. What is it? My heels seem to be broken. She almost tripped just now because the heels were too heavy. Xing Xiao crouched down and found that Mu Qiqi's silver heels could no longer walk. So, he bent down and carried Mu Qiqi horizontally. Put me down? Mu Qiqi struggled when she saw that there were people around them. I've already picked you up. You might as well stay put. Xing Xiao ignored her resistance and walked out of the banquet hall with her in his arms. There are so many people watching. You were so shameless before. But now you are so thin-skinned? Mu Qiqi lowered her head and buried it in Xing Xiao's arms. Then an attendant draped a black coat over Xing Xiao, and he carried Mu Qiqi into his black limousine. In the VIP lounge on the second floor of the state banquet, the president saw the young couple leaving and thought it was a little interesting. He said to the secretary beside him, "This is a pair of loving young people." Yes, but they are not husband and wife yet. Miss Mu is still too young, so they can't register yet. Are you also complaining that the marriage law stipulates that the age is too high? I didn't say anything. The secretary quickly shut up. Although this was what he thought in his heart. When the bell rang for the new year, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi were on their way home. Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Zhao's lap, watching the fireworks bloom in the sky. So beautiful, such an atmosphere is perfect for champagne and kisses. Xing Xiao stared at Mu Qiqi's little head, his long right hand resting on her shoulder. Mu Qiqi turned her head to look at Xing Xiao. She threw away her shoes, propped herself up and looked at the man. Do you want a kiss? I'll give it to you now. Xing Xiao did not move at first, pretending to be calm. But when Mu Qiqi really got close, he directly hooked his arm around the little one's neck, ready to teach her a good lesson in the car. In front, the driver could not see the situation at the back because he was separated. So, the two people in the car were even more unscrupulous. It was the most beautiful fireworks to be watched with the most important person. Amidst the sounds of the fireworks, there were ambiguous moans. On the other side, Tang Yin and a few police officers on duty were on duty until midnight. When Feng Shanshan and the others were tired, they directly lay down in the autopsy room. When Tang Yin went in and saw her, he could not help but hold her in his arms. It was so cold in here. Was he not afraid of catching a cold? Feng Shanshan was a light sleeper. When she felt her body being moved, she opened her sleepy eyes and looked at Tang Yin. Seeing that it was someone she trusted, she closed her eyes again and fell asleep in Tang Yan's arms. There are fireworks outside. Do you want to join us? After that, we'll go home. Feng Shanshan did not move for a long time. Tang Yin thought that she had fallen asleep again. But a minute later, Feng Shanshan tried her best to open her eyes. Let's go. When they reached the courtyard, Feng Shanshan woke up. This was because this thing was something that her parents had touched before their divorce. How many years had it been? In her heart, she had always felt that fireworks were something that only people with a whole family were qualified to set off. So Shanshan hasn't gone back yet? Come and set off fireworks with your senior brothers. Feng Shanshan laughed and ran over. Tang Yin looked at Feng Shanshan from afar. He did not join in, but when he saw Feng Shanshan's smile, he felt a trace of warmth in his heart. Perhaps this winter was not as cold as before, or perhaps it was because he had a lover. Captain Tang, you come too. the people in the team called out. Tang Yen shook his head and refused decisively. You guys go ahead. Junior Shanshan, hey, do you not have a lover? That's why you're still here in the middle of the night with us bachelors. I do, Feng Shanshan replied naturally. My partner happens to be a workaholic. He doesn't have time to accompany me during the new year, so I was forced to stay here and set off such boring fireworks with you guys. That's too unromantic, isn't it? How could he have such a cute girlfriend like you? That's right, girlfriend? Alright, it's about time. I'll send her back. You guys pack up and go home for the new year. When Tang Yen heard those 3 words, he could not bear the throbbing in his heart, so he gave Feng Shanshan a look. Captain Tang, Happy New Year. After the 2 of them waved at Tang Yen with a smile, Tang Yen left with Feng Shanshan. However, when she saw Tang Yen driving, Feng Shanshan reminded him subconsciously, we're not in a hurry to go home. You don't have to drive so fast. You're not in a hurry, but I'm in a hurry. After saying that, Tang Yen continued to speed up and returned to the house in the shortest time possible. However, the house was a mess because of Feng Shanshan's knocking. There was no way to go in now. My key is at your house, Feng Shanshan asked helplessly. Where's your key? Regardless of the key, Tang Yen drove the off-road vehicle into the courtyard. Then he adjusted his seat and pulled Feng Shanshan onto his lap. Do you want it? Feng Shanshan felt that looking at this man in the dark seemed to be more attractive. So, how could she resist the temptation of this man? Yes. Chapter 629. As soon as she finished speaking, Tang Yan's kiss was like a shower. In the car, under the fireworks, the 2 of them hurriedly took off each other's clothes and joined together in the most primitive way. At this moment, Feng Shanshan felt that whether it was her body or her heart, she was most satisfied at this moment. There's no condom in the car. Tang Yen did not say anything. He took out a small box from the storage box in the car. Who would believe that the brave and upright Officer Tang has such a dangerous side to him? This is a gift from the underwear I bought last time. It's been 2 years and it hasn't been opened, Tang Yen explained, his breathing unstable. Then, it hasn't expired yet? Tang Yan's eyes emitted extreme danger. So, he did not give Feng Shanshan a chance to continue talking. He just deeply occupied her and then brought her into the storm. After everything calmed down, the 2 of them were sweating. Tang Yen picked up his coat and put it on Feng Shanshan's bare back. Only then did he gradually relax. You're really strange. You're under my control and you sleep with me, but you never talk about feelings. You just follow whatever I say. Is this considered advancing by retreating? Being with me for a long time won't end well, Tang Yen said seriously. My personality is unstable. I don't have the concept of family in my bones, and I rarely have time to accompany my partner. So, I never take the initiative to talk about feelings with women. After listening to this, Feng Shanshan could understand everything about this man. I'm a little cold. Let's go home. Tang Yen could not promise anyone or be stable. He was such a man. He would not change himself for anyone. He was a man of iron bones. But the thing that Feng Shanshan was most attracted to about him, other than his body, was his ego. Because of this, many thoughts suddenly flashed through Feng Shanshan's mind. The scariest thing was none other than one. She actually wanted to maintain this kind of relationship with Tang Yen for a long time. She could even be his girlfriend. Because that way she could prove to him that she was different from his previous girlfriend. Not everyone could not stand loneliness. Not everyone could not keep their loyalty. Then Tang Yen carried Feng Shanshan into her house. Everything in her house was simple. The only thing that wasn't simple was the 2-meter-wide bed. After the shower, the 2 of them lay on the bed. There was no study room or other space for Tang Yen to escape. This was the first time the 2 of them were lying together in a sober state. I'll be your woman until we can't stand each other anymore. Then we'll separate. Feng Shanshan hugged Tang Yen from behind and said, Go and do your thing. I won't stop you, nor will I interfere with you or complain about you. I only have one request. No matter where you go, let me know in advance. Don't disappear for no reason. I'll be satisfied. Similarly, you don't have to worry about what I want to do. I can't guarantee anything. The only thing I can guarantee is that when I'm with you, I won't pester other men. Tang Yen listened quietly and did not speak for a long time. This made Feng Shanshan feel uncertain. How is it? Do you agree, or not? Tang Yen did not answer directly. Instead, he grabbed Feng Shanshan's hand as a silent nod. Then, let's make a deal. From the first day of the new year, we're a couple. Silly. In fact, Tang Yen thought to himself. From the moment she asked him to care about him, he had already made up his mind. The only good thing about the two of them being together was, Feng Shanshan was a forensic doctor and he was a police officer. So, they did not need to not see each other for 3 to 5 days, and Feng Shanshan could understand his work. Even so, I still hope that you can keep our relationship a secret. I don't want it to be too embarrassing when we break up in the future. Although Tang Yin did not think that they would break up, he still agreed to Feng Shanshan's request. What if he sacrificed himself one day? That night, all the houses were lit up. Everyone was reunited, including the Liu family. Lin Mu, and also took a break and returned to the Liu family to spend a warm new year with Liu Qianqian. But on the eve of dawn, Liu Qianqian found that the man who was supposed to be sleeping beside her was standing by the bed, deep in thought. She thought about it and felt that Lin Mu, and might still be missing everything about the Lin family. Do you want me to go back with you to take a look? Hearing Liu Qianqian's voice, Lin Mu, and turned around and was a little apologetic. Did I wake you up? I can't sleep well without you by my side. Liu Qianqian got up and hugged Lin Mu, and from behind. Although I know that your grandfather will not accept me, I really don't want you to have any regrets in the depths of my heart. Why don't I go back with you tomorrow and secretly take a look? Lin Mu, and held Liu Qianqian's hands and shook his head. Wait until I have some achievements. Then I can stand tall. Liu Qianqian sighed. She felt that the grandfather and granddaughter were really too stubborn. In fact, they had wasted a lot of time to accompany and understand each other. Could it be that she had not shown enough kindness? During this period of time, whenever the Lin family needed help, she would secretly lend them a hand. Even when old Master Lin was hospitalized or other matters, she would bear all of them. Perhaps her fawning actions were still beneath old Master Lin's notice. So, she could only be patient and continue waiting. Going to the police academy is really too slow. I really want to enter the society directly, then make a career and marry you. Even a capable person like the great CEO can only be a real husband and wife when Mu Qiqi is of age, right? So we are not in a hurry. Lin Mu, and sighed and smiled. I am in a hurry. Their heads gradually leaned against each other. It was a warm night for the two of them. It seemed that the only person who did not have a good time tonight was Yi Jingqing. After the police retreated, he continued to look for Mu Tongxue on the mountain. But he did not even bump into a wild animal, let alone a human. In the second half of the night, he fainted on the mountain. In the end, he had to rely on the police to save him. He almost froze to death on the mountain. This made Mr. and Mrs. Ye's heart ache. This child was too infatuated. Father, why don't we tell Jingqing that we know where Mu Tongxue is hiding? Then he won't have to continue looking for her. Look at how much effort he has put in to find her. But, are you willing to let Mu Tongxue become your daughter-in-law? Papa Yi asked. Mama Yi shook her head. I was afraid that the child would become like this. So, I planned to get rid of Mu Tongxue before he came back. But, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Mu Tongxue doesn't have him in her heart. Chapter 630. The next morning Yi Jingqing woke up from his bed at home. But because of his high fever he was in a daze. Tongxue? No. I must look for Tongxue. What are you looking for? You've been set up. Do you know that? Tongxue is not on the mountain at all. Mama Yi sat by his bed and looked at her son. Her heart ached for him. Your father has already said that you are no match for Xing Xiao. But you didn't listen to him. If the police didn't search the mountain last night, would you have been killed by them? Did you consider how your father and I feel? Mother? Yi Jingqing looked at Mama Yi apologetically. I'm sorry for you and father, but I just can't let her go. Mama Yi sighed and admitted defeat in the end. I know where Tongxue is. Yi Jingqing's eyes widened. You know? We thought that if we kept Tongshua's whereabouts a secret, you would slowly forget about it. We didn't expect that you would be so stubborn that you almost lost your life. After saying that, Mama Yi picked up her phone and dialed a number. When he heard the hello, Yi Jingqing felt that he was like a lonely boat that had finally reached the shore. Tongxue? It's me, Auntie. Are you free now? Come and see Jingqing. He's not well. I'll take a taxi now, said Mu Tongxue. Mama Yi had hidden her away. She had left the slums and lived a normal life. Now she had transferred to another medical school. But in the medical school, she fell in love with a doctor there and was now actively pursuing him. When Yi Jingqing heard that it was really Mu Tongxue, he got up excitedly and wanted to change his clothes. He didn't want to look so miserable. Not only that, he took the phone on the bedside table and called Xing Xiao. I admit that you are ruthless, but I'm sorry, Chief Sheng. I found Tongxue. I'll make sure to return the gift you gave me last night tenfold. Similarly, now that Tang Xue is back, I'm afraid Mu Qiqi's life will not be easy anymore. Xing Xiao smiled when he heard the phone call. How do you want Qiqi to live? Do you think you've planned everything? Then why didn't you keep an eye on Tang Xue? My happiness is about to begin. I will make Tang Xue 100 times better than Mu Qiqi. As for that little forensic doctor of yours, she can stand aside. Such senseless threats did not trigger any sense of danger in Xing Xiao. Perhaps Yi Jingqing's brain was damaged last night on the mountain. Mu Qiqi watched as Xing Xiao answered the phone by the window. She propped herself up and asked, "Who is it? So early?" Yi Jingqing said that he found Mu Tang Xue. You really found it? It's definitely not on the mountain. I'll get Su Che to check immediately. Xing Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. He even threatened me, saying that if Mu Tang Xue came back, he would train her into someone 100 times better than you. Is that so? Mu Tang Xue can join the entertainment industry, but I'm not interested. She's good at acting, but her brain isn't good enough. Mu Qiqi said confidently. Was Mu Tang Xue still a threat to her? Not for a long time. Xing Xiao was very satisfied with Mu Qiqi's confidence. He carried her and got up. Hurry up and pack up. We're going to the Shen family for New Year's greetings. What about the Sheng family? Mu Qiqi raised an eyebrow. We'll talk about it when the old man summons us. Mu Qiqi knew that her man was just being stubborn. Yesterday afternoon, I asked Mommy to prepare some gifts for New Year's greetings. We'll go to the hospital and Secretary He's house to visit sister-in-law. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He let Mu Qiqi do whatever she wanted. She was becoming more and more like the wife of a CEO. She already knew how to consider the ways of the world. Half an hour later, Mu Tang Xue took a taxi to Yi Mansion, which she had not seen for a long time. But now she was wearing ordinary clothes. She no longer looked like a spoiled young lady. She had completely turned into an ordinary person. Not only that, but her appearance was getting more and more different from Mu Qiqi. When Yi Jingqing saw her, he did not dare to recognize her. In the past, Mu Tang Xue was as cute as a porcelain doll. She was the little princess in the hands of the Mu family. But now, Tang Xue, brother Jingqing. Mu Tang Xue sat beside Yi Jingqing's bed and called him. I heard from Auntie that you're not in good health. You need to be more careful. Tang Xue. Yi Jingqing was so excited that he hugged Mu Tang Xue in his arms. But Mu Tang Xue pushed him away. Brother Jingqing, you're hurting me. Yi Jingqing let go of her subconsciously and finally showed a smile that he had not seen for a long time. Tang Xue, you're finally back by my side. I'll bring you to Yi Mansion. We'll be the same as before. Mu Tang Xue's expression was a little strange. She turned to look at Mama Yi. When she saw Mama Yi looking at her, she said, Brother Jingqing, my life is good now. I don't plan to change my current lifestyle. So I'm sorry. I don't want to come to Yi Mansion. When Yi Jingqing heard that, he quickly grabbed Mu Tang Xue's arm and asked, Did Xing Xiao threaten you? Did Mu Qiqi? It has nothing to do with them. I have someone I like. I want to be by his side, Mu Tang Xue said bluntly. Besides, I'm working part-time now. My life is not a problem at all. You don't have to worry about me. I'm really not worth it. Nonsense. Why are you not worth it? Yi Jingqing couldn't accept it. He looked at Mama Yi. Mom, did you force Tang Xue to say that? Well, this has nothing to do with Auntie. Then Mu Tang Xue took out the photo of the doctor. He is my teacher. I really like him and want to be with him. Brother Jingqing, let bygones be bygones. I'm fine now. I don't want to be disturbed by anyone anymore. Have a good rest today. I'll come to see you when I'm free. Tang Xue, don't go. Yi Jingqing grabbed Mu Tang Xue's arm. I like you so much. How can you abandon me and fall in love with someone else? Brother Jingqing, I've only treated you as a brother since the beginning. I never had that intention. I hope you take care. Having said that, Mu Tang Xue turned around and left Yi Mansion without looking back. She left Yi Jingqing's side. Mom, did you arrange it? If you don't believe me, you can find out for yourself, Mama Yi said coldly. Son, I don't have to force Tang Xue. Yi Jingqing lay on the bed. At that moment he felt as if he had lost his favorite toy. Chapter 631. Why did Mu Qiqi say that it would be a good thing if Yi Jingqing really found Mu Tang Xue? Because his liking was almost sick. Which woman would want to be with such a sick person? Moreover, Mu Tang Xue was a scheming person, and Yi Jingqing thought that she was a pure and innocent princess. If Yi Jingqing saw Mu Tang Xue's dark side, his psychological defense would definitely collapse. Sure enough, they had just reunited. After that, Su Che went to investigate Mu Tongshue's whereabouts. It only took him one morning to find out where Mu Tongxue was staying and her school. It should be the Yi family who hid her. It's my first time seeing her. She looks so similar to Madame. But when I look closely they are very different. So, is there anything important? Xing Xiao looked at the information and asked. She is crazily chasing after a teacher in her school. It seems that she likes him very much. The whole school knows about it. Su Che showed the photo to Xing Xiao. Then this is going to be a good show. Xing Xiao chuckled. His words were meaningful. That morning, Tang Yen and Feng Shanshan did not go to the police station because Tang Yen had applied for leave. However, before they slept until noon, Tang Yen received a call from the chief. There was a murder case at Hongwen University and it had been transferred to the criminal investigation team. Seeing Tang Yen getting up, Feng Shanshan asked him, "Didn't you say that you are not going to work?" "There is a case. Go back to sleep. Can't you let me have some peace during the new year?" No matter what, Feng Shanshan still got up with Tang Yen. "You go first. I will be there later." Tang Yen nodded. He got dressed and went out after washing up. He did not go to the police station. Instead, he went to the crime scene at Hongwen University. Captain Tang, the victim, is a second-year student at Hongwen University. Her name is Tang Yixiao. She is from the same family as you. She was hacked to death and the forensic doctor is doing an autopsy. It's a horrible scene. It's really not peaceful during the new year. Isn't the school on holiday? There are many students staying in school. One of the team members explained to Tang Yen. The body was found by the cleaning lady. According to her memory, the last time the washroom was cleaned was yesterday morning. No one found out during this period of time? Because it's the holidays, very few people go to that school building. His colleague continued to explain, "Oh right, there's a Hongwen medical school behind it." Tang Yen nodded and went to the scene. Seeing the victim lying miserably on the bathroom floor, he sighed and asked the forensic doctor, "Is there any result?" "Captain Tang, you might have to call the professor. I'm new here. I'm not very experienced." The young forensic doctor's mind went blank when he saw Tang Yen. However, Tang Yen knew that his uncle had gone abroad to see his daughter. He was not here at all. So, he turned around and started calling the other forensic doctors in the police force. Mu Qiqi received it too. She just didn't expect it to be so scary during the new year. When Xing Xiao saw how concerned she was about the case, he knew that her heart must have flown over. He said, "I'll pick you up at the hospital at 5 in the afternoon. At 7 in the evening, we'll go to the He family's house." Mu Qiqi hugged his arm and rubbed it. "I knew you understand me. Let Su Che send you there. There's no need. Didn't you just say that the murder happened at Hongwen University?" "Su Che is going there too," Xing Xiao said as he pinched her nose. Mu Qiqi frowned. She didn't understand until Xing Xiao explained, "The school that Mu Tongxue is studying at now is a branch of Hongwen University." Mu Qiqi knew that her man was investigating Mu Tongshue's case, so she nodded. "I got it." No matter what Xing Xiao's motive was, it was all for her. Mu Qiqi didn't think much about it. She got into Su Che's car and went to Hongwen University. At this time, Feng Shanshan also arrived at the scene. "Isn't there a forensic doctor here?" Mu Qiqi looked at the forensic doctor in the white coat and said, "And where are the professor and the other seniors?" "The professor went abroad and it's the holidays now. The other forensic doctors can't leave for the time being." Feng Shanshan explained for Tang Yen. "As for this one, he's newer than us. He just registered and hasn't worked for a day. You two are just forensic assistants. Don't you know your manners?" The new forensic doctor said to Feng Shanshan. Obviously, he was not happy with her arrogant attitude. Mu Qiqi didn't respond to Feng Shanshan's teasing. She walked to the new forensic doctor and said, "Senior, did you encounter any trouble?" The new forensic doctor glanced at the corpse and turned around. It seemed that he was still not used to it. Mu Qiqi glanced at him and pushed him away. Then she and Feng Shanshan squatted on the ground and put on rubber gloves. Then they started the preliminary autopsy. "The deceased is a male between 20 to 25 years old. Wait, isn't this a female?" The police couldn't help but doubt Mu Qiqi's words. The corpse was slender and fair. He was wearing a woman's clothes and had long hair. No matter how they looked at it, he didn't look like a man. Mu Qiqi showed her Adam's apple to everyone. "Do women look like this?" The police were instantly speechless. It should be a transvestite or gender dysphoria. As she said that, Mu Qiqi continued the autopsy. Other than the slash wounds, there are no other obvious injuries on the body. There are a total of 24 slash wounds. The most fatal one should be on the neck. The main artery was cut, which led to excessive blood loss. According to the livor mortis, the time of death was around 4 to 5 in the morning. This man smoked, and he was a heavy smoker, Feng Shanshan added. He also liked to put on makeup. I just don't know if the people around him know that he's actually a man. Are you sure it's because of excessive blood loss? We still need to do a poison test to rule it out, Mu Chichi said. So, we have to wait until we get back to the station for a detailed report. If Captain Tang thinks that we need a more professional forensic doctor to do the examination, we can contact our teacher or go to another station to find someone. No need. I trust you, Tang Yen said. After saying that, he glanced at the new forensic doctor. When the new forensic doctor saw that, he could only turn his head away awkwardly. He couldn't even compare to two sophomores. Forensic Dr. Chin, don't take it to heart. These two are the professor's proud disciples. They have been through many battles. The police tried to comfort him. Then, are they still in charge of the autopsy? Of course it's your job, senior. Mu Chichi smiled. Feng Shanshan couldn't help but look at Mu Chichi. It seemed that she wanted to teach the new forensic doctor a lesson. By the way, is Hongwen's medical school behind this? Mu Chichi asked the other seniors in the team. Yes, that's Hongwen's medical school. Why are you asking? Mu Chichi pointed at her face and answered Feng Shanshan, that person is inside. Chapter 632. I know what you are thinking. But I'm sorry. I don't want it to go as you wish. Feng Shanshan made a disdainful gesture and turned to Tang Yen. Let's go back to the police station first. Call us if you need anything. Tang Yen did not look at her but nodded. When the two of them walked away, he said to the new forensic doctor, I want to see the toxicology report tonight. The new forensic doctor did not know how much of a workaholic Tang Yen was. He just nodded blindly. Feng Shanshan and Mu Chichi looked at each other and smiled. They were afraid that the new forensic doctor would have to suffer a little in the police station. Several people carried the body out of the school building. Because of the murder, the whole building was now completely cordoned off. However, there were still a lot of students watching. Mu Chichi looked at them and understood that she had to solve the case as soon as possible. Otherwise, the students would not feel at ease staying in the school because of the panic. However, some people did not come to see the case. They came to see Mu Chichi. So that's Mu Chichi. She is really Mu Feifei's sister. They look the same. But they are different when you look closely. Why are you comparing? Mu Chichi is also a second-year student, but now she has appeared at the scene of a murder to do an autopsy. Although the two of them look very similar, Mu Chichi is Xing Zhao's woman after all. The confidence and arrogance she has is different. We have seen a celebrity, haven't we? Feng Shanshan heard many students looking at Mu Chichi along the way. She nudged Mu Chichi with her elbow. You're so cool now. Mu Chichi looked at her disdainfully and looked at the crowd. Then she saw Mu Tongxue in the crowd. They had not seen each other for more than a year. Time was a good thing. It could make people forget a lot of things. Then Feng Shanshan also noticed the girl in the crowd. Wasn't this the scene she was looking forward to? Mu Chichi glanced at Feng Shanshan. Then she took off her white gloves and threw them to Feng Shanshan. Then she walked toward Mu Tongxue. It was only then that the students around them noticed that Mu Tongxue was there to watch the commotion. She must have heard about the incident and hence came to watch. It's strange that you didn't hide when you saw me. Mu Chichi said to Mu Tongxue. What happened to you yesterday caused a huge uproar and made me the focus of online violence. But now you're willing to show up. That's not what I did. Of course, I won't break my current life for you. Mu Tongxue said calmly. I'm not that kind to stand up for you. If you don't come out, will no one in your nursing school know about this? You don't need to know that. Since Mama Yi wanted to hide it from Yi Jingqing, she would, of course, communicate with the school. She would pretend that Mu Tongxue did not exist in this world. Moreover, when she first entered the school, she had changed Mu Feifei's name. So, before the incident broke out, almost no one paid attention to her. Everyone only knew that she was a quiet student who liked her teacher. Then what are you doing now? I know. Once the Yi family finds me, it means that the crown prince will find me soon. I don't want to be your enemy now, so I'm here to show my stance. I know that as long as I'm not a threat to you, the crown prince won't do anything to me, Mu Tongxue said honestly. You don't have the time to do anything to me, do you? Yi Jingqing has caused me a lot of trouble because of you. He's the one who caused you to fake your death. You should know this, right? Mu Tongxue, you're still as selfish as before. Sister, I have nothing now. I can only rely on myself. You really don't have to destroy me. Look at the gap between us. I just want to be an ordinary person now. Please let me go. Did I say anything? Muchichi snorted. If you want to live under the sun, don't do those dirty things. This is my last advice to you. After that, Muchichi turned to Feng Shanshan and said, let's go. That's it? You were forced into a corner 2 days ago. I thought you would slap the main character when you saw her. But she didn't do it. What's wrong with me slapping her? Do you want to be in the headlines and accuse me of abusing my sister? Besides, I've already settled the score. Now we're just strangers who don't owe each other anything. After that, Muchichi and Feng Shanshan got into the police car. But before they left, Muchichi purposely glanced at Mu Tongxue. Mu Tongshue's heart was still impure. But because she had someone she liked and was rejected by the person she liked, she started to reflect on her life. At least, she really didn't want to be against Muchichi anymore. Because she knew that the gap between her and Muchichi was getting bigger and bigger. It was a gap that was hard to cross. And she also knew that she should take over Yi Jingqing's problem. Because she knew Yi Jingqing, she was afraid that if she revealed her feelings for teacher, she would be investigated or even controlled by this man. But she was not afraid. After Muchichi returned to the police station, she looked at the time. I'm leaving at 5 in the afternoon. Can you stay here and accompany Senior? Go ahead. I'll stay here until midnight without you. Feng Shanshan shook her head helplessly. Waiting for your family? Muchichi raised an eyebrow. Don't say it out loud if you know. It's boring. Muchichi chuckled and did not lecture Feng Shanshan. There was still some time left. She wanted to see if this new senior brother had learned his anatomy skills well. The two of them wanted to help, but the new forensic doctor felt that he was embarrassed at the scene just now, so he rejected Muchichi and Feng Shanshan's help. You two can stand aside. I'll do it myself. Okay. You can do it yourself. Muchichi nodded. But when the two of them moved away from the corpse, Muchichi saw something that looked like a rash on the left side of the corpse's arm. So, when the senior was about to cut the corpse, Muchichi stopped him. Don't move first. What do you want? The new forensic doctor was a little impatient. Why don't you do it? If you don't want to be infected by HIV, you better not move first. Muchichi looked at the new forensic doctor and said, I suggest you do a blood test first. What nonsense are you talking about? See for yourself. Muchichi pried open the corpse's arm and showed him the rash. Although we can't rule out the possibility of eczema or other skin diseases, people infected with HIV will also have this kind of rash in the early stages. And HIV can still reproduce and infect people within 10 hours of death. If you don't believe me, you can do a blood test yourself. Chapter 633. After hearing that, the new forensic doctor put down the scalpel in his hand subconsciously. Senior brother, although you don't acknowledge us, I think you should listen to Muchichi's suggestion and do a blood test first. I know. After all, it was related to him. So, the new forensic doctor immediately collected the blood sample of the deceased for a blood test. Muchichi gestured to Feng Shanshan. This forensic doctor might be a little incompetent. She didn't know who put him in, so she asked her to keep an eye on him. Otherwise, if they missed the test, it would affect Tang Yan's judgment. Don't worry, just go. The two of them had been working in the laboratory for a long time. Why would they be afraid that they couldn't control the new forensic doctor? Su Che came to pick them up and Muchichi got into the car. But she didn't expect her man to be in the car too. Sheng Xiao reached out his hand, but Muchichi stopped him. I stayed in the bathroom for a long time today. I don't like the smell. Is there any smell on your body that I haven't smelled before? Sheng Xiao snorted. I saw Mu Tongxue at Hongwen University today. She begged me to let her go. Muchichi took off her coat and jumped into Sheng Xiao's arms. She stared at his chin and asked, What do you think? Didn't you want to watch the drama between her and Yi Jingqing? You didn't even watch the drama. Of course I won't do anything, said Sheng Xiao. Am I that free in your eyes? Of course I can let Mu Tongxue go. But Yi Jingqing. He must lose his reputation and beg for mercy. Only then could Yi Jingqing repay the pain that Xiao Qi'er had suffered in the past. In order to achieve this goal, he would not hesitate to add fuel to the fire from behind. After changing her clothes at home, Muchichi accompanied Sheng Xiao to the hospital because Grandpa Sheng was still in the hospital. At this time Sheng Bowen and Hu Ran were there too. When they saw them, their eyes widened. Sheng Xiao, Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Xiao and snorted. It was the first day of the new year. However, he understood that Sheng Xiao was at the state banquet last night, so he didn't act coy. The doctor said that you can be discharged after resting for a week. I still need you to inform me, said the old man awkwardly. Unhappy? Then I'm leaving. Come back. Grandpa Xing sighed. Yesterday I was worried that the girl would embarrass herself at the state banquet. I didn't expect her to be so eloquent. She taught those people outside a lesson. I've seen it for myself. There's really nothing for me to worry about the people you teach. The people in the ward couldn't help but laugh when they heard that, especially Xing Bowen. I've already said that this isn't something you should worry about. I'm just scared. Are you afraid that I'll drag Xiao Xiao down? Mu Qiqi continued. Yes, compared to Xiao Xiao, I'm just a pile of cow dung. But since he's already a flower, there's nothing I can do. You have to accept your fate. Besides, are you the only one who cares about your grandson? I will also feel sorry for my husband. Are you married? That's what I call my husband. Yes. Mu Qiqi raised the ring on her finger and said, It's registered abroad. We're officially husband and wife. After hearing what she said, old Xing laughed. How impudent. The family argued in the ward, but their hearts were warm. They were used to opposing each other. They didn't know how to get along with each other, so they could only be awkward. Since Zhongting has developed to this point, I can't ask you to return to Huangyao. I guess you won't like it. But I'm still worried about third brother. Grandpa, do you have no confidence in me? Grandpa Xing looked at Xing Bowen seriously. Although he didn't mention Xing Kai these days, everyone knew that he and Gu Xiling were not easy to deal with. Even if they didn't do anything now, it didn't mean they would behave themselves in the future. It's not that I don't have confidence in you. I'm just afraid that you'll be too soft-hearted and not as ruthless as those wolves, tigers, and leopards. Grandpa Xing propped himself up on the bed and said, I've been dreaming a few times recently that the Xing family will face a great catastrophe. I'm afraid I won't be able to get through it. It seems that you really don't have confidence in me. Even so, you should believe in eighth brother, right? With his current ability, can't he take care of Huangyao? Grandpa Xing didn't say anything. After a long silence, he changed the topic. You and Xiao Ran should hurry up and have a child. I won't rush eighth brother since he's still young. Xing Bowen and Hu Ran looked at each other but didn't say anything. But Xing Xiao understood their awkwardness. So, when they left, Xing Xiao asked Xing Bowen, You haven't slept with me yet? Maybe it's because of the wrong start. That's why I'm still not feeling it yet, said Xing Bowen. Pure man. Xing Xiao said and left with Mu Qiqi. They still had to go to the next place, Secretary He's house. On the way, Mu Qiqi heard about it and couldn't help laughing. Third brother, do you have a problem in that area? It's been so long but you're still so calm. You don't understand. Xing Xiao glanced at the little one's head and gave her 3 words. What don't I understand? If it's not a relationship that can be exchanged for life, there's no point in sleeping with you, said Xing Xiao. So, you have a relationship that can be exchanged for life? Mu Qiqi caught the main point in Xing Xiao's words and asked, A relationship that can be exchanged for life? Don't you think it's too shallow for you to ask this question? Xing Xiao asked. Mu Qiqi smiled. That's true. Anyway, they were fated to be together for life. Why should she be so pretentious? I know even if you don't tell me. Hearing Mu Qiqi's answer, Xing Xiao was satisfied. He began to stroke her hair. The two of them have too little experience. They can't feel each other in their hearts. That's why they treat each other with respect. But when the two of them really discovered their feelings for each other, it would be a little too late. Who could predict it? In the forensics laboratory, the new forensic doctor received the blood test report and found that the deceased, Tang Yixiao, was indeed an HIV carrier. So he broke out in a cold sweat. Why did Mu Qiqi come to that conclusion? Actually, it was very easy. Because Tang Yixiao was very likely a transvestite and liked to dress up. Why did he have to be so creative? Wasn't it to attract men's attention? Some of his characteristics were very obvious. He liked to attract people. Of course, this was his private life. No one had the right to interfere. However, because he knew that this person had HIV, the new forensic doctor did not dare to cut him. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. I say, senior brother, did you really graduate from forensic science? How dare you work in the criminal investigation team? Of course I am. You're just a student. What do you know? Chapter 634. Feng Shanshan could not be bothered to talk to him. She called the forensic doctor from before and asked him to handle it. Tang Yin had also returned to the police station. Feng Shanshan quickly asked, Did anyone touch the victim's blood? They're all wearing gloves, Tang Yin answered. I'm here to get the report. Then you might have to wait until tomorrow. Feng Shanshan shrugged. What happened? Tang Yin frowned. He looked so serious that he looked like an old man. Feng Shanshan did not let him enter the autopsy room. Instead, she stopped him outside and said, "Have you checked this forensic doctor's background? Mu Chichi and I suspect that he might not have any real skills." When he left the scene, he said that it was his first time, so it's understandable that he felt uncomfortable. But after he came back, I really don't think he has the ability to stay in the criminal investigation team. Tang Yin listened to her but did not say anything. He just pushed the door of the autopsy room open. "Captain Tang, at your speed you'll only be able to solve the case next year." Tang Yin was serious in speech and manner, which was scary enough. Coupled with his cold tone, the new forensic doctor felt his legs go weak. "Get lost." Yes. Then Tang Yin put on the isolation suit, a glass mask and 2 pairs of gloves. Only then did he start the autopsy skillfully. When he cut open the victim's chest, he did not hesitate at all. This made Feng Shanshan's heart skip a beat. But she trusted him. He had been a criminal police officer for so many years. He had probably seen all kinds of situations. Moreover, when there was no forensic doctor, he could also be a good helper. Previously, he only told Feng Shanshan that he had learned clinical medicine. But now, it seemed that it was more than that. After a while, the senior from the forensic team rushed back. Seeing Tang Yin in the middle of the autopsy, he asked Feng Shanshan, "What's going on?" "The victim has AIDS." The new forensic doctor did not dare to do it, so Captain Tang did it for him. "How can you be a forensic doctor if you don't dare to do it?" Then, the senior entered the autopsy room and said to Tang Yin, "Captain Tang, let me do it. It's almost done. The body needs to be cremated and the follow-up disinfection work needs to be done." After saying that, Tang Yin left the autopsy room. However, he did not look at the new forensic doctor at all. He just said as he walked, "Go back to where you came from." The new forensic doctor was dumbfounded. Was the captain of the criminal investigation team so tough? Then Tang Yin found a place to clean up and take a shower. Feng Shanshan heaved a sigh of relief. She sat on the chair in the bureau and sighed. She was really shocked by that man, but she had to admit that he was handsome. Yi Jingqing sent someone to investigate the man Mu Tongxue liked. He found out that he was just an ordinary teacher. His salary was less than 5,000 a month. He had a small house in Jianchuan and lived a simple life. He barely had any contact with women. But it was such an ordinary man that Mu Tongxue risked exposure to confess her love in public? He was the pride of the heavens, with power and authority. He was Mu Tongxue's childhood sweetheart and had done countless things for her. But in the end, he couldn't even compare to such an ordinary man? No, something must have gone wrong. Yi Jingqing sent someone to kidnap the teacher. He wanted to see what was so special about the man that Mu Tongxue was so infatuated with him. Mu Tongxue knew that Yi Jingqing might do such a thing. After thinking about it, she felt sorry for the person she liked. So, she bravely stood guard in front of his house. When the teacher saw her, he was puzzled. "Mu Tongxue, you are troubling me by standing in front of my house." Mu Tongxue knew that she had gone overboard. So she apologized seriously. "I'm sorry, Mr. Liu. I've caused a lot of trouble." "I know. You don't have to care about me. Just pretend that I like standing here." "As a teacher, how can I blame my student? It's already happened. I don't blame you." The teacher smiled gently at Mu Tongxue. "You should go back now. It's so cold." "Mr. Liu, Mu Tongxue, I just treat you as my student. I hope you won't overthink it." After hearing the answer, Mu Tongshua's eyes dimmed. However, she did not leave the teacher's house. Instead, she went to another place and hid in the dark. She stayed there until 1 o'clock in the morning. When she saw that the light in the teacher's room had gone off, she turned around and left. She had the courage to stay there for a long time. But at this moment, a black car came roaring and stopped in front of Mr. Liu's house. Mu Tongxue saw that something was wrong, so she immediately walked out and stood in front of the group of people. "What do you want?" The group of people saw Mu Tongxue and knew who she was. They pushed her away. "Miss Mu, I'm sorry. If you dare to go up, I'll die here. Let's see how you are going to explain it to Yi Jingqing." Mu Tongxue took out a dagger from her pocket and put it beside her neck to threaten the 4 people. "If you go up there and try." When the 4 people saw blood oozing out of Mu Tongshue's neck, they were frightened and quickly stepped back. "I have nothing. I only have Mr. Liu. None of you can hurt him. No matter who it is, even if it's Yi Jingqing, I'll die with him." The 4 people looked at Mu Tongxue for a while. In the end, after asking for Yi Jingqing's permission, they left the teacher's house. Mu Tongxue heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that. She had nothing left. All she had left was ruthlessness. As long as someone dared to hurt Mr. Lu, she would make him die a horrible death. Yi Jingqing did not expect that Mu Tongxue would be so unyielding for this teacher. The jealousy in his heart burned even more fiercely. There was still a long way to go. He would not let go of the man who stole Mu Tongxue. Of course, their every move was under Xing Zhao's control. He would certainly protect such a kind teacher. Only then would Yi Jingqing feel as if thousands of arrows had pierced his heart. The next morning, Mu Qiqi arrived at the police station. Seeing that the body had been taken care of, she asked Feng Shanshan, "Is it AIDS?" "Why are you asking if you already know?" Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. "The people from the police station have done a lot of investigations on Tang Yixiao. This child is a transvestite. He has a sick mother at home. In order to pay for his studies, Mrs. Tang has to be a nanny for a rich man. Tang Yixiao is really attractive, especially when he likes to look for rich men. So it's not surprising that he got AIDS. It's just that his motive is a little distressing. To look for his grandmother." Chapter 635. "Do you have any clues now?" Mu Qiqi asked. "He has a lot of friends in that field. In the words of the students, they are promiscuous. There are so many of them in and out of school. There's a doctor in the medical school next door. Tang Yin is going to check on him today. Are you coming?" Forensic doctors rarely go to the field. But we are still learning. "Of course we can't miss this opportunity," Mu Qiqi replied. But when she saw the new forensic doctor sitting on the chair in front of the police station, she raised her chin. What's wrong with him? Yesterday Tang Yin told him to go back to where he came from. He's still conflicted now. You didn't see how he was yesterday. Anyone would be afraid of death, but he's not like him, going straight to his death. Feng Shanshan didn't even notice that her tone sounded like she was trying to protect her family. After all, the new forensic doctor had delayed Tang Yan's work. So she was unhappy about it. But I might still have to get along with him in the future, Mu Qiqi guessed. Since the new forensic doctor was really useless, he must have been forced into the police station. It meant that he had a powerful background. Could Tang Yan handle it? Stop chatting. Follow him to the field. It's a good chance for you to learn. The senior from the forensic team patted their shoulders. When you become forensic doctors, you won't have the chance to go to the field anymore. There are no restrictions on your identity now. The two of them quickly followed Tang Yan. This time they sat in Tang Yan's off-road vehicle. After they got into the car, Tang Yan passed his coat to Feng Shanshan naturally. Feng Shanshan reached out to take it. The two of them looked like an old couple. So Mu Qiqi could not help but chuckle. But Feng Shanshan glared at her. Soon the three of them arrived at the medical school in Hongwen. It was the holidays now, so there were not many students. However, because Mu Tongshue's confession to the teacher was so famous and Mu Qiqi looked very similar to her, her appearance at Hongwen's medical school attracted many people's attention. Look, the body of a celebrity is indeed different. She's popular wherever she goes. Then they found the doctor involved and asked him about the situation. Dr. Gao, you should know that Tang Yixiao has been killed, right? Can you tell us when was the last time you saw him? The other party was wearing a white coat and a pair of jeans. He looked very refined and no one could read his expression. The last time we met was about 4 days ago. He came to me to borrow money and I gave him 20,000. Do you want to see the receipt? Teacher Gao, can you tell me where you were at 4 to 5 in the morning the day before yesterday? Do what? Who can prove it? Feng Shanshan continued to ask. Sleep at home. There should be surveillance cameras in the neighborhood. You guys can go and get them. The teacher was rather magnanimous. Feng Shanshan felt hopeless and dragged Mu Qiqi away. That was when she noticed another young teacher staring at Mu Qiqi. You, and Mu Feifei, sisters? Mu Qiqi answered straightforwardly. Oh, okay. The teacher's eyes were filled with doubt, but he didn't ask any more questions. He just walked past them. Then Mu Tongxue walked into the school building. She followed Teacher Lu. She didn't expect to see Mu Qiqi in the school again. It seemed that they would have to meet often if the murder case was not solved. However, they acted as if they didn't know each other at all. One was walking to the left and the other was walking to the right. Look at you. One is in the sky and the other is on the ground. If I were a reporter, I would also think that you are abusing your sister. Mind your own business, Mrs. Tang. Mu Qiqi glanced at her disdainfully. All right, let's move on to the next case. It's quite a lot of work. This Tang Yixiao is really not easy to deal with. They left the medical staff school. At this time, Mu Tangxue was looking at Mu Qiqi from the corner of the corridor. She was lost in thought. They had been running around the city for a whole day, but they didn't find anything. When they returned to the police station, a senior told them that an important guest wanted to see Tang Yan. Mu Qiqi guessed that this must be the new forensic doctor's backer. So she didn't get involved. She packed up and went home as soon as possible. Sheng Xiao was still having a meeting in Zhongting. So Mu Qiqi took a shower and went to the study to help her man pack his things. However, when she saw Sheng Xiao investigating Mu Tangshua's information, she noticed that the surname of the man Mu Tangxue liked was Lu. Wasn't he the teacher who asked her about her relationship with Mu Qiqi? It seemed that he really cared about Mu Tangxue. However, looking at his information, he was just an ordinary teacher. Logically speaking, it was impossible for Yi Jingqing to ignore his rival in love. So she frowned and couldn't figure it out. After a while, Sheng Xiao entered the study. Seeing her holding the teacher's information, he hooked her chin and said, "What do you want to ask? Just ask." Didn't Yi Jingqing cause trouble for this teacher? He went last night, but Mu Tangxue threatened him with death. So Yi Jingqing didn't succeed, Sheng Xiao answered Mu Qiqi as he took off his coat. Is Mu Tangxue serious? What do you think? I just feel that why would she drag an innocent teacher into this? Hasn't Mu Tangxue thought about how powerful the Yi family is? It's easy for them to crush a teacher. Maybe she thinks that she can protect the teacher. Sheng Xiao hung up his coat and walked to Mu Qiqi's side. He reached out and hugged her, only to find that she had a rare fragrance after a shower. You took a shower? I thought that you would be tired from the meeting. If you smell the weird smell on me when you get home, your stomach will feel uncomfortable, Mu Qiqi said honestly. Seeing the tiredness on Sheng Xiao's face, she felt sorry for him. Lie on my lap. I'll massage your forehead for you. Sheng Xiao lay flat on the sofa and used Mu Qiqi's legs as his pillow. I went to Hong Wen's nursing school today and met Mr. Lu. I think he seems to care about Mu Tangxue a lot. He's quite a strong person. Mu Tangxue made it known to everyone that she likes him, but he seems to be quite frank. If Yi Jingqing really hurt her, why do I feel guilty? Sheng Xiao enjoyed Mu Qiqi's gentle touch and closed his eyes. Don't worry. I have my own arrangements. Really, I can't hide anything from you. Sheng Xiao smelled the fragrance on Mu Qiqi's body and gradually felt sleepy. It had been a long time since he laid on the little one's body peacefully. She always had this magical power to comfort him. Chapter 636. Mu Qiqi did not think about what Yi Jingqing would do. But it was obvious that Sheng Xiao could not let it go. Mu Qiqi reached out and touched Sheng Xiao's handsome face. Her heart was full of reluctance and pity. She did not want Sheng Xiao to carry her past. I've almost forgotten everything that happened in the past. You can forget, but I can't. Although Sheng Xiao's eyes were closed, his tone was firm and unquestionable when he said that. Mu Qiqi smiled and did not say anything. Anyway, this man knew what he was doing. She did not need to worry at all. What about Yi Jingqing? After he failed to kidnap Mu Tangxue for the first time, he changed his strategy. He gave Mu Tangxue all kinds of expensive things because he wanted to tell the whole school that Mu Tangxue belonged to him. Not just any teacher could compare to him. If it were in the past, Mu Tangxue would have accepted all the gifts. But now she had the guts to throw all the things Yi Jingqing gave her into the trash can. When Yi Jingqing was free, he went to the school to pick Mu Tangxue up. When he saw Mu Tangxue ignoring him, he could not help but sigh. Is this still the Mu Tangxue I know? Mu Tangxue knew that he was at the school gate, but she still walked around his car and went to her shabby little house. Yi Jingqing could not help but get out of the car and stop in front of Mu Tangxue. Tangxue, is this how you treat your brother Jingqing? Brother Jingqing, I have told you very clearly. I have someone I like. I hope you will not disturb my life anymore. Mu Tangxue, I have done so much for you. Aren't you touched at all? Yi Jingqing grabbed Mu Tangshue's arm and said, Come back to me. Only I can give you happiness. What can that poor teacher give you? I can give up everything, but I like Mr. Lu. So, Brother Jingqing, I am really sorry. Having said that, Mu Tangxue broke free from Yi Jingqing's arm. What's wrong with me? Tangxue, tell me. I can change. When you were young, you were so attached to me. In order to protect you, I made Mu Qiqi suffer a lot. In order to find you, I did not hesitate to steal corpses. I even offended Sheng Xiao. How can you not like me and like someone else? After hearing what Yi Jingqing said, Mu Tangxue turned around and looked at him. Do I have to like you just because you like me? To be honest, Yi Jingqing, I've never asked you to do these things for me. Isn't it your wishful thinking? If I used you, then you can think of me as despicable and shameless. Yi Jingqing's heart was in a mess. Because he did not know what was going on with Mu Tongxue. Why was she ignoring him? I know. That teacher must have done something to you. Otherwise, why would you be so loyal to him? Having said that, Yi Jingqing turned around and went back to his car. That's right. However, Mu Tongxue knew that something bad was about to happen. So, she stopped the taxi and rushed to Mr. Lu's house. But Yi Jingqing was crazy. He drove very fast. When he reached the teacher's door, he knocked on the door like a madman. He even disturbed the neighbors in the building. Mr. Lu had no choice but to open the door. Who are you? Yi Jingqing entered the door and kicked Mr. Lu's abdomen. Then he picked up the ashtray on the coffee table and smashed it on Mr. Lu's head. Blood gushed out of Mr. Lu's head immediately. But Yi Jingqing did not give up. At this time Mu Tongxue caught up with him. Before Yi Jingqing made his next move, she stood in front of Mr. Lu. If you want to hit someone, hit me. Yi Jingqing looked at Mu Tongxue in front of him. He grabbed her and threw her to the side. It's all because of this man that you fell in love with him and lost yourself. I want him to die today. Mu Tongxue did not say anything else. She called the police and jumped on Mr. Lu again, intending to protect him with her body. Yi Jingqing was crazy. Fortunately, the neighbors came to help and pinned Yi Jingqing to the ground. Otherwise, no one knew what kind of terrible consequences he would cause if he went crazy like this. Mr. Lu, are you okay? Mr. Lu did not have time to answer because he fainted on the ground. Soon, the police came and brought Yi Jingqing back to the police station. At the same time, the ambulance sent Mr. Lu to the emergency room of the hospital. Mu Tongxue was covered in blood. She was obviously frightened. No, she was more angry and guilty. When she arrived at the hospital, she walked along the corridor in a daze. After the doctor's diagnosis, he told her that Mr. Lu needed an operation and asked her to pay the fee immediately. Only then did Mu Tongxue realize how troublesome she was. She had brought disaster to the person she loved. She had no other way. The only person she could think of was Mu Qiqi. Because she knew that only Mu Qiqi could help her. Doctor, could you please give me an hour's time? I'll go and collect the money. The doctor saw that she was dressed plainly, so he nodded and agreed. You must be quick. The patient cannot wait. Mu Tongxue nodded and went to the criminal investigation team immediately. Because she did not have Mu Qiqi's contact information, she could only go to the police station. Feng Shanshan was still in the police station. When she saw Mu Tongxue covered in blood, she thought it was Mu Qiqi. But after a closer look, she knew that she was that man's sister. Sister, can you help me contact Mu Qiqi? I have an urgent matter to attend to. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath. She could only call Mu Qiqi in the middle of the night. Your sister has come to the police station. She is covered in blood. You might need to come and deal with it. Give her the phone, said Mu Qiqi. Feng Shanshan passed the phone to Mu Tongxue. Your sister wants to talk to you. Sister. Mu Tongshue's tears flowed out. I know I have wronged you in the past. But now, only you can help me save Mr. Lu's life. Yi Jingqing, that scumbag, broke Mr. Lu's head. Mu Qiqi could not feel Mu Tongshue's sadness when she heard this. She only knew that Mr. Lu was innocent. So she turned around and looked at Xing Xiao. Su Che is dealing with it. The operation is in progress, said Xing Xiao, who was sitting on the bed. Mu Qiqi answered Mu Tongxue. We are saving him. But for the sake of Mr. Lu's safety, I think you should stay away from him. He is just an ordinary person. You should have thought of the consequences when you let everyone know about it. Mu Tongxue nodded. That's right. I have never liked anyone. I don't know how to like someone, Mu Tongxue said, sobbing. But now I know. But how can I protect him? Sister, please. Chapter 637. I will. Sister, please protect him. Don't let him get hurt because of me. Whenever Mu Tongxue thought of Mr. Lu covered in blood, she felt terrible. She couldn't help but blame herself. So, after she went to school, she went to find Mr. Lu's best friend to take care of him in the hospital. Then she went to the police station. Yi Jingqing and his mother had just walked out of the police station. Because Mama Yi had offered money to bail him out and Yi Jingqing was sincere in admitting his mistake, it depended on how Mr. Lu would deal with the matter after he woke up. Mu Tongxue looked at Yi Jingqing from afar. She had never felt so disgusted before. She even imagined poking thousands of holes in Yi Jingqing's body. Mama Yi saw her and quickly came up to her. Tongxue, are you okay? Mu Tongxue looked away in a daze and nodded coldly. Your brother Jingqing was just impulsive. Tell the teacher not to sue him. We can discuss how much he wants, Mama Yi said, grabbing Mu Tongshua's shoulder. Mu Tongxue looked up at Mama Yi. Auntie, I'm very grateful that you saved me and helped me. I can't repay your kindness. But this is not a reason for Yi Jingqing to hurt the innocent. Tongxue? Yi Jingqing tidied his clothes and looked at Mu Tongxue condescendingly. This is what he deserves for seducing someone else's woman. Really? Mu Tongxue suddenly smiled. But it was a creepy smile. You probably haven't seen the real Mu Tongxue. You are mine. You can only be mine. Mama Yi looked at her son helplessly and pushed him into the car. You go back first. I'll go to the hospital with Tongxue to see the teacher. It's best if he's dead. Yi Jingqing had completely forgotten what he had said to the police just now. His smile was filled with despair. In order to stop them from quarreling, Mama Yi quickly held Mu Tongshue's hand and stopped another taxi. But when they were in the car, Mama Yi still wanted Mu Tongxue to calm down. Tongxue, you see, I've treated you like my own daughter all these years. Moreover, the person who was injured this time is an outsider. You won't report your Jingqing for an outsider, will you? He really is innocent. Mu Tongxue said nothing and only looked out the window. Soon the two arrived at the hospital. At that moment, Teacher Lu's surgery was over, but he was not awake yet. Mr. Lu's colleague was guarding at the door. He knew that it was all because of Mu Tongxue. He looked at her with disgust. Miss Mu, I always thought that you were just an immature girl. That's why I never said anything bad about you in front of Zhanfeng even though I didn't like you. But look at what you have done to him. Putting aside the fact that his head was smashed for no reason, it's still uncertain whether the school will accept him or not. Are you only satisfied when you completely destroy him? Mu Tongxue dropped to her knees at those words. I'm sorry, what's the use of apologizing? Can you stop pestering him? As long as he's safe, I swear that I will stay away from him and never disturb him again. Mu Tongxue cried on the ground. It's my fault. It's all my fault. The teacher did not want to lose his temper on his student, so he waved his hand. You can go now. Don't ever appear in front of Zhanfeng again. Is he safe? The teacher nodded. Then I'll go. Mu Tongxue was in great pain. Well, I'm Yi Jingqing's mother. I'm here to apologize to Mr. Lu on his behalf. Mama Yi seized the opportunity and said to the teacher, we will be responsible for Mr. Lu's medical expenses. No need. The teacher rejected her directly. Do you think you're so great just because you have some money? As long as you don't appear in front of Zhanfeng again, it will be the best help you can give him. Then, may I be so bold as to ask, can you not sue my son? The teacher looked at Mama Yi and sneered. We are poor. We can't afford to offend him, but we can afford to hide from him. Mama Yi breathed a sigh of relief when she heard the answer. That's good. If anything happens to Mr. Lu in the future, please call us. Mu Tongxue glanced at Mr. Lu's ward again and got up from the ground. She did not cry anymore. But she would remember this grudge. She said that she would let Yi Jingqing see her true self. Not only that, she had no other choice but to protect Mr. Lu. So, after leaving the hospital, she planned to get in the car with Mama Yi. But Mama Yi had other plans. Tongxue, after this incident, I want to send you abroad. What do you think? It's better for everyone. Okay. I'll listen to your arrangement. But I'm too dirty tonight. Can I go to Yi Mansion to wash up? I lost the key to my house just now. It's better if you go and talk to Jingqing, said Mama Yi. Mu Tongxue smiled. Just like before, she put on a show to deal with Mu Qiqi. Ever since she met Mr. Lu, she had decided to be the most authentic version of herself. She did not want to go back to the past. But for Mr. Lu, she had to become the old Mu Tongxue. It was all Yi Jingqing's doing. Soon they arrived at Yi Mansion. When Yi Jingqing saw Mu Tongxue, he went up to her immediately. Tongxue, Mama Yi thought that Mu Tongxue was going to talk to Yi Jingqing. But Mu Tongxue said, I promise you that I'll be your girlfriend. Mama Yi's face changed, but Yi Jingqing was overjoyed. Are you serious? But I have a condition. You can't disturb Mr. Lu anymore. I'll quit the nursing school too. As long as you're by my side, even if you want the moon in the sky, I'll give it to you. Not to mention letting go of a mere teacher. If you don't keep your word, you'll have a dead body. Of course. Yi Jingqing hugged Mu Tongxue. Mu Tongxue held back her disgust and did not push Yi Jingqing away. A few seconds later, she asked, Where do I stay? You sleep in my room. I'll sleep in the guest room. I'll sleep in the guest room. Because she knew very well that if she smelled Yi Jingqing's scent, she would feel nauseous. I'll bring you there. After that, Yi Jingqing helped Mu Tangxue to leave. But Mama Yi stopped him. She never thought that she would lead a wolf into the house. Chapter 638. Auntie, if you don't want me to be your daughter-in-law, why don't you talk to your son? Mu Tangxue looked serious. Ew. Mu Tangxue, don't forget who brought you out of the slums. I didn't expect you to be so ungrateful. Mama Yi found it hard to accept. I told you if you want to find someone, find your good son. Otherwise I would still be staying in the slums. Who begged you to come and fetch me? We all know who you are doing this for. But no one can stop your son now. What do you want me to do? Mama Yi choked. She knew very well that Mu Tangxue did not have Yi Jingqing in her heart. She only agreed to Yi Jingqing's request because she wanted to protect that teacher. I will protect that teacher for you. You don't have to do it yourself. You can't protect him. Mu Tangxue looked at Yi Jingqing. Aren't you leaving? Yi Jingqing could not listen to anything now. As long as Mu Tangxue was by his side, he would be willing to die even if she asked him to. Yi Jingqing. Mama Yi was helpless. She could only wait for them to leave and call Papa Yi. Come back quickly. The house is in chaos. You still have to go on a business trip. When they arrived at the guest room, Yi Jingqing squatted in front of Mu Tangxue and held her hand. Tangxue, I finally waited for you to come back. Mu Tangxue resisted the disgust in her heart and let him hold her right hand. But after a while she said, let go. I'm tired. Okay. You rest. Then Yi Jingqing stood up and touched Mu Tangshue's fringe. I will make sure you live a happier life than Mu Qiqi. Don't let me know that you are causing trouble for Mr. Lu behind my back. Why would I? I can't thank him enough. Mu Tangshue's eyes were deep. She did not want to live a happier life than Mu Qiqi. In this life, when she first met Mr. Lu, she knew that it was a disaster in her life. Perhaps she had done too much evil in the past so she could not get Mr. Lu's love. But so what? At least she could protect the person important to her and never let him get hurt again. As for Yi Jingqing, his suffering was yet to come. The next day Mu Qiqi woke up early in the morning. She wanted to go to the police station directly, but before she left she saw that Xing Xiao had received a call from Yi Jingqing. Chief Xing, I'm sorry to call you early in the morning to tell you the good news. Tangxue has returned to me. Is that so? Well, congratulations. Xing Xiao did not show his joy at all. You should feel bad because I'm going to make Tangxue shine even more brilliantly than Mu Qiqi. That's the last thing you want to see, isn't it? If you're done, I'm going to hang up. You don't like it? It's not that I don't like it. It's just that the hospital called and said that Mr. Lu has woken up. I'm going over to take a look now, so there's no need to chat with you. With that, Xing Xiao hung up and turned to look at Mu Qiqi. I really should change my phone number. Otherwise, the outside world will think that anyone can talk to me directly. It's annoying. Mu Qiqi laughed. You're too cruel. Yi Jingqing is the one who is annoyed now. He seems to be very proud, but he's just a paper tiger. Mr. Lu's existence is enough to make him feel bad. Mu Tangxue has gone to the Yi family. I know Mu Tangxue too well. If she goes to the Yi family, she will only turn them upside down. Mu Qiqi glanced at Xing Xiao from the corner of her eyes. Do you believe me? Xing Xiao snorted and pinched Mu Qiqi's chin. If I don't believe you, who else should I believe? Mu Qiqi quickly pecked him on the lips and left the bedroom. I'm going to the police station. Xing Xiao straightened his body and adjusted his collar. Then he waved at Mu Qiqi. Hurry up. Mu Qiqi wrapped herself in a thick coat and got into Su Che's car. Mu Qiqi thought for a while and felt that she should learn how to drive. At least, it was meaningful for Su Che to follow Xing Xiao. When Mu Qiqi arrived at the police station, she saw Feng Shanshan looking at her from head to toe with her arms crossed. Have you reconciled with your sister? Are you kidding me? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. The grudge between me and Mu Tangxue can never be resolved in this life. Then why are you still helping her? There are many things to learn. Mu Qiqi did not explain clearly. Is there any progress on the case? Tang Yan has interrogated everyone who is related to Tang Yixiao. But none of them are suspicious. So, Tang Yan thinks that the murderer is still in the school, Feng Shanshan explained. Why did he go to the school building so late at night? Mu Qiqi touched her chin and fell into deep thought. There were so many cuts on his body and there were no signs of resistance. That means it is very likely that he was attacked. Moreover, one cut was enough to make Tang Yixiao fall to the ground. Should I restore the sequence of Tang Yixiao's wounds? Senior brother is already doing that. Moreover, we went to Tang Yixiao's mother last night. but we did not get anything valuable from her. His mother does not know anything about Tang Yixiao. Actually, there should be many people in the school who do not like him. Mu Qiqi took a deep breath and looked at the new forensic doctor. What about him? Will he stay or leave? The higher-ups insist on keeping him. What do you think? Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. But he has seen how tough Tang Yan is. I think he will not provoke him. He will behave himself. We still need to go to the crime scene today to see if there are any other clues. Do you want to go? Mu Qiqi nodded. Soon they arrived at Hongwen University. At this time there was a lot of gossip coming from the medical school. Have you heard? That Mu Feifei dropped out of the school this morning. Isn't that what she should do? I heard that Mr. Liu was beaten half to death by the rich second generation last night because he was jealous of Mu Feifei. The school has decided to fire Mr. Liu. Teacher-student love is against the norm. And it was so ugly. I didn't expect Mr. Liu to be such a person. Mu Qiqi's eyes darkened. If she were Mu Tongxue, she would never expose Mr. Liu. Wasn't it obvious that she wanted to put Mr. Liu on the chopping board? Who was Yi Jingqing? How could she be so unscrupulous? Now she had implicated an innocent person. Her reputation was ruined and she lost her job. Mu Tongxue should be happy now. Your sister's IQ is worlds apart from yours. Feng Shanshan could not help but laugh. It's no wonder. She has two fathers. Of course she is different. It's not funny. Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan coldly. Chapter 639. You deserve to have your life destroyed just because your sister likes you? Some people are heartless and brainless. What can you do to them? Mu Qiqi looked up when she said that and saw Mu Tongxue at that very moment. Mu Tongxue seemed to have heard what she said just now. Her eyes were filled with self-blame and melancholy. I'm going to Yi Mansion now. Thank you for what happened last night. Mu Qiqi looked at Mu Tongxue. The disgust in her eyes was still obvious. Don't hurt Mr. Liu anymore. Please use your brain to treat the people around you like how you treated me. Mu Tongxue was hurt, but she could not refute Mu Qiqi's scolding. That was why she could only turn around. But before she left, she said one last thing to Mu Qiqi. I will never be your enemy again. But did Mu Qiqi care? She had seen all kinds of disgusting people. She could even tolerate Yi Jingqing. Even if Mu Tongxue came back, she would not care about her. In the end, Mu Tongxue left the nursing school. She had come to settle the withdrawal procedures and to plead with the school not to expel Mr. Liu. She had clarified that the incident had nothing to do with Mr. Liu. She hoped that Mr. Liu could live a happy life from now on. Even so, the school didn't take back their decision to expel Mr. Liu. Tongxue, let's go home. Yi Jingqing took Mu Tongshue's luggage when he saw her coming out of the school. Go home. The nightmare of the Yi family was about to begin. So, is it your plan to let Yi Jingqing take your sister away? Feng Shanshan asked Mu Qiqi when she saw Yi Jingqing leaving with Mu Tongxue. Mu Qiqi snorted. Evil people will be punished by evil people. Let's continue to look at the crime scene. This is the 5th floor. During the holidays almost no one comes here. Tang Yixiao died at around 4 a.m. in the morning and he was dressed like a woman. So, I'm guessing that the person who killed him could be someone who was having an affair with him here. This is the primary crime scene, but we did not find the murder weapon. Because it was the bathroom, we could not get any valuable footprints. This is a deliberate murder. At least, the murderer had time to prepare. I have a bold conjecture. Mu Qiqi suddenly turned to look at Feng Shanshan and told her what she was thinking. Captain Tang, didn't you check Tang Yixiao's account before? Other than borrowing 20,000 yuan from the doctor at the medical school next door, he hasn't been involved with other people recently. So, the possibility that he's doing this for money can be ruled out. You mean for love? I thought of another possibility. Have you forgotten what illness he has? Feng Shanshan also understood. Perhaps we can check the people around him, who recently went to the hospital for a checkup and was diagnosed with HIV. This is indeed a good direction to investigate. After all, once this disease is infected, it will destroy your entire life. They quickly conveyed this idea to Tang Yan. Tang Yan quickly took action. He did not let go of anyone who had contact with Tang Yixiao. The two little girls were quite meticulous. Tang Yan could not help but glance at the two of them, especially Feng Shanshan. A 1,000-year-old man would naturally feel a sense of pride at this moment. But at this moment, someone in the team touched Tang Yan's arm and realized that his body was burning. Captain Tang, are you sick? Tang Yan did not think that there was anything wrong with him, but it made Feng Shanshan's face turn pale. So, she walked up to Tang Yen and reached out to touch his forehead. "You're having a fever. Don't you know?" Tang Yen looked puzzled. At this moment, Feng Shanshan immediately said to him, "Go for a checkup. See if you've contracted HIV." When everyone heard that, they jumped 3 meters away in shock. Only Feng Shanshan was still standing in front of him. At this time, the forensics team remembered who had performed the autopsy on Tang Yixiao yesterday. "Captain Tang, for safety's sake, let's go for a checkup. You're too worried, aren't you? Even if it's an acute stage, symptoms will only appear in 2 to 3 weeks. I think Captain Tang is just too tired." Mu Chichi quickly came out to comfort the team. "You're right." After Mu Chichi's reminder, the others only remembered the principle of infection. But when they heard those words just now, they were shocked. Although Tang Yen felt that it was impossible, he had to go to the hospital to calm them down. "I'm going for a checkup. You don't have to follow me," Tang Yen said. In fact, this sentence was mainly to remind Feng Shanshan. But Mu Chichi looked at Feng Shanshan. Her man was sick. As a woman, it would be strange if she was not worried. "Shanshan and I are just about to leave. You're having a fever. Don't drive. Who would be worried? We'll send you there," Mu Chichi said quickly. Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Chichi gratefully. It was rare for this person to be so understanding at such a critical moment. Tang Yen looked at Feng Shanshan and could only nod in the end. "The rest of you go to work as usual. Go to the hospital immediately to investigate the suspect." No one doubted the relationship between Feng Shanshan and Tang Yen. After leaving the police station, Mu Chichi asked Feng Shanshan to drop him by the side of the road. "Send him there. I'll leave the rest to you. Thank you for today. Look at how anxious you are," Mu Chichi said disdainfully. "I'm sure that he just didn't sleep well because of the high-intensity work. As for whether you did too much shameful things in the bathroom and caused the cold, I don't know." Feng Shanshan looked back and saw that Tang Yen had already fallen asleep. What shameful things did he do? Last night, Tang Yen lay at home for less than 2 hours. If she hadn't called, Tang Yen probably wouldn't have thought of going home at all. Even if he went home, he would just lie down perfunctorily. Soon, the two of them arrived at the hospital. Feng Shanshan immediately woke Tang Yen up. But how could she carry Tang Yen with her weak body? It was only when the people from the hospital came that he was sent to the emergency room. "Doctor, he performed an autopsy on the deceased with AIDS yesterday. So, please do a checkup for him." "Don't worry, madam. You can go through the procedures first. The doctor will do a good examination here," the doctor answered Feng Shanshan. "Don't worry too much. According to my experience, he just has a common cold." In fact, Feng Shanshan was also a medical student. Although she didn't practice medicine to save people, if it weren't for the fact that she was too worried, she could actually tell what exactly Tang Yen had: a fever. Chapter 640. Tang Yen fell into a deep sleep in the emergency room of the hospital. When he woke up, his body temperature had returned to normal, and his fever had subsided. The doctor came over to check on him and smiled. "His physical condition is really good. Don't worry, Miss Feng." Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yen. She wanted to let him sleep for a while more, but Tang Yen got up from the bed. "Let's go." "Are you sure?" "I don't need to see a doctor. I just want to reassure the people at the station." After all, he did not touch the blood of the dead body when he was doing the autopsy yesterday. Even if he did, there was no wound on his hand, so it was impossible for it to be infected. He was still the same. He could risk his life to solve the case. When they walked out of the hospital, Tang Yen received a call from the station. The suspect was confirmed to be a boy from Tang Yixiao's dormitory. He was diagnosed with AIDS in the hospital last month. The case is almost solved. Tang Yen kept his phone and said to Feng Shanshan. They got into Tang Yen's off-road vehicle, but this time it was Tang Yen who drove. "If I had parents at home and wasn't alone, would you be so busy that you couldn't even see your tail?" Tang Yen tilted his head and looked at Feng Shanshan. "What kind of answer do you want me to give you?" "It's up to you. I have time to accompany them for New Year's dinner. What if there's a murder case? I'll take you with me. Don't you want to do an autopsy?" Feng Shanshan sighed. She knew that this man could not say beautiful words. Of course, she did not need to listen to beautiful words. "All right. At least you won't leave me behind." Tang Yen tilted his head and looked at Feng Shanshan again. This time he did not say anything. They returned to the station as fast as they could. The seniors at the station had already brought the suspect to the interrogation room. That person was called Yuan Bo. He was good-looking and would definitely be popular among the girls in school. Feng Shanshan saw Tang Yen entering the interrogation room and called Mu Qiqi. I've caught the suspect. Are you coming? Mu Qiqi certainly wanted to confirm her guess, so she rushed back to the station. Yuan Bo, 22 years old. He and Tang Yixiao are students of different faculties and share the same dormitory. The two of them have small conflicts every day, but neither of them takes it to heart. The senior in the police station explained to the two of them, "We also looked for him before, but he was very calm and said that he was resting in the dormitory. His roommates can testify, so we didn't suspect him." In the interrogation room, Tang Yen got Yuan Bo's medical records. He did not go straight to the point. Instead he asked, "Can you tell me why you got this disease? What else could it be? How are you going to guard against such an unruly person in the dormitory?" Yuan Bo seemed to be trying his best to control his emotions. Although he deliberately lowered his voice, Tang Yen could still hear the trembling in his voice. "So you got it in the dormitory? Those people with AIDS should just die by themselves. Why do they have to involve innocent people? We were raised by our parents. What did we do wrong?" Yuan Bo's eyes were red. "Do you know what that bastard said when I found out I was sick? He said that you deserved it. So, you couldn't help but do something to him?" Tang Yen continued. "What else could I do? Can the law punish him? Who can give me a fair trial? I knew that I would have to take medication for the rest of my life after I got this disease. No one would be willing to marry me and no job would be willing to accept me. I can die if I want to, but I want to drag him down with me. Do you know that when my parents found out about my disease, they thought that I was fooling around outside and they both fell sick? My grandfather passed away quietly just like that. He didn't even let me see him for the last time. What did I do wrong to be treated like this? Did he deserve to die? Did he deserve to die?" Yuan Bo's questions echoed in the interrogation room over and over again. Everyone, including Tang Yen, was silent. "You guys can interrogate the rest." Then Tang Yen got up from the interrogation room. Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were no longer excited about catching the criminal. They could only sigh helplessly. "There's no one else here. To be honest, if it were me, I might not have done better than Yuan Bo," Mu Qiqi said. "I have to abide by the law, but if anyone dares to touch my family, I might be more ruthless than him. Don't look forward to it. Your big CEO won't let you face such a choice." "I might." Feng Shanshan smiled. If she stayed with a dangerous man like Tang Yen, she might be kidnapped one day. By then, that man might even ignore her for the sake of the case. This kind of situation, just thinking about it would make one's heart turn cold. The case is over. I hope I can relax for a few days. "Let's go home," Mu Qiqi patted Feng Shanshan's shoulder and said. Meanwhile in the hospital. Not long after Mr. Liu woke up, he received the dismissal notice from the school. Lying on the bed, Mr. Liu looked at the notice and sighed. "Actually, I don't understand how I offended a rich man. I could have gotten a title this semester, but it's a pity that I can't even be a teacher now. I've contacted another school and recommended you to teach there. At most you can start over. It's better than wasting your time here," said Mr. Liu's friend. Mr. Liu's friend said, "You haven't asked Mu Tangxue anything since you woke up. What are you thinking?" "Maybe I owe her in my previous life and I've paid her back in this life," said Mr. Liu. "But I hope I won't see her again. I thought you really liked her. No matter how bad I am, I won't like a student. Besides, she's not a good student. I'll just take it as my bad luck. But I don't blame her. She's still young and doesn't know how to protect the people around her." Then Mr. Liu closed his eyes and was about to rest. But suddenly, a man in a suit entered the room. "Hello, Mr. Liu. I'm Mr. Yi Jingqing's lawyer." Mr. Liu said immediately, "You can go back now. I won't sue him." No, Mr. Liu, you've misunderstood. I'm here for something else." Then the lawyer handed a document to Mr. Liu. "You'll understand after you read it. Mr. Yi has arranged a better place for you to go." Mr. Liu opened the document doubtfully and looked at the lawyer with a pale face. "I'm already leaving. Isn't that enough?" "It's not enough. Mr. Yi hopes that you will disappear from Jianchuan completely." Chapter 641. Mu Tangxue didn't know what happened in the hospital. Although she had moved into Yi Mansion, she had no freedom for the time being. Yi Jingqing had sent people to protect her in name, but in fact he was afraid that she would look for Mr. Liu on her own. Mu Tangxue swore in her heart that for the sake of Mr. Liu's safety, she would never have any contact with him again. She even tried to forget this man. But she would never forget the humiliation Yi Jingqing had given her. Living a happy life? That would be in her next life. After thinking for a while, Mu Tangxue turned around and looked at the bodyguards guarding her. Tell your CEO Yi that it's so boring at home. I want to go out for a walk. I'm meeting him for dinner at Empire Hotel at 6. The two bodyguards looked at each other awkwardly, but they still called Yi Jingqing. Tell him that I don't want anyone to follow me. I just want to be alone. The bodyguards conveyed Mu Tangshue's words. Unexpectedly, Yi Jingqing agreed. CEO Yi agreed. He said that he will wait for you at Empire Hotel at 6. Mu Tangxue sneered and left Yi Mansion. Of course she wouldn't look for Mr. Liu again. But she had her own channels to find out where Mr. Liu was. Of course, others were not reliable. But there was one person who would never let her down. So, she went to the police station and saw Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan saw that she came this time, dressed in bright and beautiful clothes, and also smiled meaningfully. Your sister left. I'm not looking for my sister. I'm looking for you, said Mu Tangxue. Mu Tangxue said. I can't have her number. So, I hope that you can help me tell her to keep an eye on Miss Liu. I will make her pay for all the pain she has suffered in the past. Do you think Yi Jingqing doesn't know you're here? Feng Shanshan asked. So, it's not important whether you have Mu Qiqi's number or not. What's important is what you're going to do. No matter what I do, he can't do anything to me. He can kill me if he wants, said Mu Tangxue self-deprecatingly. Since Yi Jingqing can do illegal things, he can certainly prepare many ways to deal with you. Really? Mu Tangxue smiled. Let's see who can't take it anymore. I won't say anything more. I hope you can help me pass the message. With that, she left the police station. This made Feng Shanshan admire her a little. If it were her, she would have died together with Yi Jingqing. But Mu Tangxue could still endure it. Of course, just like Mu Qiqi, Feng Shanshan wanted to see what would happen to Yi Jingqing. She wanted to know how Mu Tangxue managed to hurt Yi Jingqing all by herself. When Mu Tangxue left the police station, she went straight to Empire Hotel. She saw Yi Jingqing waiting at his seat like a fool. So, she took a glass of champagne from the waiter and hooked her arm around the waiter's neck. Help me with something. Yi Jingqing looked at his wristwatch and looked around as if he was afraid that he would miss Mu Tangxue. However, he waited from 6 to 7, then from 7 to 9, and still did not see Mu Tangxue. He suspected that Mu Tangxue had gone to see Mr. Liu again. However, he remembered that he had sent the man thousands of miles away. So, he immediately called home and found that Mu Tangxue was not home either. Just when he was about to leave, he saw Mu Tangxue walking out holding an old man's arm. Yi Jingqing's expression changed. Tangxue, I fell asleep in the hotel room. Sorry to keep you waiting. Mu Tangxue let go of the old man's arm and let him leave. Then she walked to Yi Jingqing. That man? He said that he thought I was pretty, so we became friends and chatted in his room for a while, Mu Tangxue explained. So he's a CEO. No wonder he's so humorous. Yi Jingqing grabbed Mu Tangshue's wrist. I waited for you for 3 hours and you were chatting with someone in the room? Did I make you wait again? If you didn't see me, why didn't you go back first? Mu Tangxue asked Yi Jingqing. Mu Tangxue, aren't you a little too much? Hearing this, Mu Tangxue slapped Yi Jingqing's face. Everyone has the right to say this except you. Yi Jingqing endured the pain and dragged Mu Tangxue out of the hotel. He did not allow her to resist at all. When they got home, he threw Mu Tangxue on the bed roughly. From tomorrow onwards, you don't have to go anywhere. Mu Tangxue knew he would have such a reaction, so she stopped struggling. She touched her wrist and said, You're hurting me. Seeing that she had calmed down, Yi Jingqing pinched her chin and said, Since you've chosen to stay by my side, can't you be more obedient? I won't go out tomorrow. You don't have to be so fierce. Mu Tangxue seemed to have returned to her pitiful self in the past. Only then did Yi Jingqing's anger subside. Good girl. But when Yi Jingqing got up, he saw the red spots on Mu Tangshue's arm. It was a mark that could only be caused by kissing. Could it be Mu Tangxue and that old man? But in an instant, Yi Jingqing felt that his idea was too ridiculous. In order not to hurt Mu Tangxue, he quickly got up and left Mu Tangshue's room. Of course, he would not be able to sleep tonight because he would feel very uncomfortable. It was as if thousands of ants were devouring his body. It was itchy and painful. Mu Tangxue smiled. She wanted Yi Jingqing to be so distressed that he would lose his mind. As for the red spots on her arm, she could easily do it herself. Of course, this was just the beginning. Feng Shanshan relayed Mu Tangshue's words to Mu Qiqi as promised. At the same time, she smiled at Mu Qiqi. Your sister is so weak. How can she deal with Yi Jingqing? Don't underestimate her. She is a master who has tortured me for more than 10 years, said Mu Qiqi. Then she put down her phone and went to Xing Xiao's study. Seeing that Xing Xiao was working, she wanted to leave, but Xing Xiao hooked his finger at her. Do you want to ask about Mr. Liu? I really can't hide anything from your eyes. Mu Qiqi felt helpless. She returned to Xing Xiao's side and sat on his lap. Yi Jingqing's men sent him to the mountainous area to teach, said Xing Xiao. Then Su Che brought him back. He can't be a teacher anymore, so he's hiding in Zhongting now. So why should I believe Yi Jingqing's words? You can tell Mu Tongxue about this. After all, if Mu Tongxue knew that Yi Jingqing did not keep his promise, she could imagine how deep the hatred in her heart would be. I really want to see with my own eyes how Mu Tongxue tortured Yi Jingqing. Are you sure that Yi Jingqing did not control Mu Tongxue? Chapter 642. Yi Jingqing felt as uncomfortable as Mu Tongxue had predicted. No, it was 1,000 times more uncomfortable. He wanted to catch Mu Tongxue and interrogate her. Had she ever been intimate with that old man? Had she ever been kissed by that disgusting old man? Had she ever been kissed by that disgusting old man? However, he did not have the guts to do so. He had just sent Mu Tongxue's favorite teacher, Teacher Liu, to the village as a volunteer teacher. If he caused trouble for Mu Tongxue because of that, he would only be pushing her further away. It was not easy for him to bring her back to his side. So, even if he was drinking alone, he would not disturb Mu Tongxue. He could not even let Mu Tongxue know that he suspected her because of this. When Mama Yi came out of the bedroom, she saw Yi Jingqing drunk. She walked up to him and sneered. What? Are you unhappy? Didn't you insist on keeping her? Since you are so happy that you can even abandon your parents, why are you drinking alone now? Mother, ignore me. The Mu family is a scourge. Mu Qiqi is one and Mu Tongxue is another. These two sisters are born to poison other families. Mother, no matter what happens between me and Mu Tongxue, she is the woman I love the most in my life. Whether you like her or hate her, you must accept her. Yi Jingqing put down the bottle and staggered up from the sofa. If only you still believe in that little slut. Your father and I will not accept her. Don't even think about it. Having said that, Mama Yi turned around and went back to her room. She would like to see when her unfilial son would come to his senses, and whether he would wait for Mu Tongxue to tear the family apart. Mu Tongxue was standing at the corner of the second floor. She heard the conversation between the mother and son, and knew that a gap had appeared between them. Although Mama Yi had dragged her out of the slums, it was not because of Mama Ye's mercy. Mama Yi was just afraid that she would enter the Yi family. She had never thought of becoming the daughter-in-law of the Yi family. But Yi Jingqing, yet he threatened her by hurting Mr. Liu. If he got drunk today, wouldn't he have to slit his wrists and commit suicide in the future? The next morning, Yi Jingqing woke up on the sofa and saw Mu Tongxue looking at him helplessly. Don't you cherish yourself that much? Tongxue, I've made breakfast for you. Remember to eat it. I'm going back to my room. Having said that, Mu Tongxue got up and went back to her room. However, her politeness made Yi Jingqing very happy. As he ate the breakfast Mu Tongxue made, the haze in his heart was immediately swept away. The hospital was much quieter because of the spring festival. With the approval of the doctor, Grandpa Sheng could be discharged and go home to recuperate. This made the old man so happy that he was all smiles when he saw Mu Qiqi. I won't come to this hospital anymore. After going through the gates of hell once, the old man could be said to have been reborn. He exuded an easygoing aura from head to toe. Therefore, Mu Qiqi stopped targeting him and helped him pack his luggage with Hu Ran. After you go back, have a good rest. You don't have to worry about Huang Yao. Just save it. Grandpa Xing looked at Mu Qiqi and thought of Grandpa Xin, who had been meditating for a long time. Since he survived the disaster, of course he had to go and apologize to him. I'll visit Grandpa Xin when I'm free. He's doing very well. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. Hu Ran saw the interaction between Mu Qiqi and Grandpa Sheng. It was awkward but interesting. She couldn't help but feel a little envious. No matter what kind of conflict you and Grandpa had in the past, you really like each other now. Grandpa doesn't like you? Mu Qiqi asked Hu Ran about the crux of the matter. Hu Ran shook her head. No. I just feel that there's something missing between me and the Sheng family. I can't get along with them, especially with third brother, right? Just what are you guys thinking? Until now you still don't have that thing? Our relationship is not like yours and eighth brothers. You two have experienced many things. But Bowen and I are just ordinary, Hu Ran said disappointedly. Perhaps, it's really uncomfortable to be tied to each other. Did Sheng Bowen know that Hu Ran was thinking like this? Third sister-in-law, actually, I've been a matchmaker for many times. Why don't I help you find the problem? Mu Chichi winked at Hu Ran as she walked out of the hospital. No, I don't think Bowen will like it. I'll share the private things between husband and wife. Mu Chichi thought of Sheng Bowen's face and couldn't help but laugh. Grandpa Sheng was at a loss as he looked at her. She sent them to the door of Sheng Mansion. She said that she never wanted to step into this house again in this life. Old man, you take care of yourself. I've been here, so Xiao Xiao has been here. Grandpa Sheng didn't force her. After all, not many people could guess what Mu Chichi was thinking. On the other hand, he had already seen the problem between Hu Ran and third brother. So, before they went home, Grandpa Sheng said to Hu Ran, "Do you still not like third brother?" Hu Ran was stunned. "I know that the two of you treat each other with respect on the surface. But in fact, you don't have the kind of feelings between husband and wife. Compared to Mu Chichi and eighth brother, it's even more obvious. So, I was the one who messed up the matchmaking. Xiaoran, you're a good girl. If you really don't want to spend the rest of your life with third brother, you can divorce him. I won't stop you this time." This time, Hu Ran's whole body stiffened. Don't be in a hurry to tell me the answer. Think about it carefully." Then the old man limped back to his house with his walking stick. Hu Ran stood rooted to the ground. For a moment, she was extremely flustered, especially when Sheng Bowen looked at her. "What's wrong with you?" "I'm fine." Hu Ran avoided Sheng Bowen's gaze. Sheng Bowen's expression suddenly changed. But he didn't force Hu Ran. After they returned to their room, he said to Hu Ran, "Did Grandpa say something to you?" "Third brother, I want a divorce." Hu Ran plucked up her courage and said to Sheng Bowen, "I've made up my mind to be with you for the rest of my life. But I still feel that we're more like family than love." "Is that so?" Sheng Bowen's smile was uglier than crying. "Since you've decided, then let's divorce. Find a time to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. There's no need to announce it. Let's break up peacefully." He didn't even bother to struggle. Chapter 643. She desperately wanted to change the situation between her and Sheng Bowen, but he was really a blockhead. He would give up just like that. In fact, when he walked out of the bedroom, Sheng Bowen's expression immediately changed. When he heard Hu Ran talk about divorce, he felt as if his soul had been stripped from his body. He even thought that he was hallucinating. Divorce? So be it. Anyway, as long as Hu Ran was happy. After Tang Yixiao's case was solved, the police station immediately relaxed. However, on this free morning, Tang Yen was called into the office by the chief. No one knew what he said, but when Tang Yen came out of the office, he gave Feng Shanshan a meaningful look. Feng Shanshan felt that something was wrong, so she followed behind Tang Yen and asked him, "What did the chief say to you?" "I'm going out for a few days tomorrow. Be careful at home." "Is it the same mission as last time?" Feng Shanshan asked him. "Do you know that the wound on your left shoulder has just grown new flesh? Are you so impatient to throw your life away? That's my job. Whether you accept it or not, it's the same." After saying that, Tang Yen opened the door of the off-road vehicle and got in. Feng Shanshan did not stop him. Why should she? She knew that he was born to be heartless. What else could she do? However, when Mu Chichi arrived at the police station, she saw a bitter expression on her face. "Did you take the wrong medicine?" "I'm just thinking about what kind of bad luck I have. My predecessor is a scumbag and this one is a bastard." "Did Captain Tang offend you?" Mu Chichi could not help but laugh. "Isn't it normal for him to offend you? After all, he's such an iron-blooded man. He's passionate about investigating cases. I think this is something that's branded in his bones. I'm afraid he can't change it in this life. Didn't you like his body before? You can't blame him for this." Feng Shanshan leaned against the glass and thought hard. She felt that there would be no result. "Forget it. Let's do the experiment. Being busy makes me forget my worries." The two of them entered the laboratory together. It was rare for the professor to return from abroad. However, on the first day of work, the professor was already at loggerheads with the new forensic doctor. "I just want you to help me do a simple experiment. Don't you know how to do it? Who recommended you to come here?" "Professor, I will try my best to learn from you." The professor propped himself up on the dissection table and adjusted his glasses. "You're an official forensic doctor. How come you're not even as good as a freshman?" The new forensic doctor looked at the professor timidly, not saying a word. "Forget it, you can leave." The professor did not make things difficult for the new forensic doctor and sent him away. He thought that his ability was as weak as his character. However, they did not know that Tang Yen was sent on a dangerous mission because of this new forensic doctor. In terms of his background, no one in the Jianchuan branch could compare to him, except for the one in Mu Qiqi's family. Tang Yen knew why he was chosen. When he came back from outside, he bumped into the new forensic doctor who was gloomy at the door. He jumped off the off-road vehicle and said to the new forensic doctor, "You can't use power like this, even if you hate me very much." "Captain Tang, what are you talking about? Why don't I understand?" The other party was pretending to be weak. "Regardless of whether you understand or not, you better remember that in this life, no one can spoil you unconditionally." After saying this, Tang Yen returned to the police station. "Regardless of whether others spoil me or not, you have to go to the front line and die." The new forensic doctor was very dissatisfied with the people in the criminal investigation team, especially Tang Yen and Mu Qiqi. Tang Yen was at most the captain of the criminal investigation team. What was there to be arrogant about? Not to mention Mu Qiqi and Chen Yinghong. They were just two intern assistants, yet they were so arrogant in front of him, a real forensic doctor. So what if he wanted to use his power like this? In the afternoon, Tang Yen arranged the work in the police station and planned to drive home to pack his luggage. Even before he left, he did not have the chance to say anything to Feng Shanshan to tell her not to worry. Feng Shanshan was not unreasonable. It was fine if he did not say anything, but she knew this man. However, the moment Tang Yen left, the two of them heard the new forensic doctor hiding in the lounge and talking to his uncle on the phone. "Uncle, thank you for teaching Captain Tang a lesson for me. I'll be obedient, I promise." When Feng Shanshan heard this, she almost exploded. She pushed open the door of the lounge, walked up to the forensic doctor and slapped him in the face. "Are you still human? You're a beast." Mu Qiqi quickly hugged Feng Shanshan, afraid that she would cause trouble. "Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, my A*S. Do you know that Tang Yen was shot in the shoulder when he came back from the front line? It wasn't easy for him to grow new flesh on his left shoulder. The fever was also because of the previous gunshot wound. This bastard actually used his background to send him to the front line again?" Feng Shanshan felt that she was about to go crazy. "How can you bear to treat someone who works so crazily to get rid of evil for the people? You can't save this matter even if you lose your temper. Why don't you let me do it?" Mu Qiqi pressed down on Feng Shanshan's agitated body. "He wants to compete with his background. Can you fight him?" Feng Shanshan immediately became obedient and stood to the side. Mu Qiqi sighed and looked at the new forensic doctor. "I knew that you don't have the ability. You're just here to be gilded. Soon you'll be transferred out of here and go to another place. So, you can totally play with your colleagues in the bureau like this, including Captain Tang. It's just that we can completely abide by the rules of the game you set. However, there's one thing you have to be clear about. My second uncle is the mayor of Jianchuan. My husband has close ties with the military. Since you want to play, let's play. Isn't it just using my background? Who wouldn't? Why didn't the other party do anything to Mu Qiqi? It was because of Mu Qiqi's background. Mu Qiqi, I'm not bothering you when I'm looking for trouble with Captain Tang, right? Could it be that Captain Tang is your lover? Is that why you're so anxious?" When Feng Shanshan heard this, she kicked him again. "If you have the guts, say it again. Otherwise, why would Mu Qiqi be so concerned about Captain Tang?" Mu Qiqi didn't want to say anything more to the forensic doctor. She just took out her phone and called Xing Xiao. "Xiao Xiao, are you free? Speak." Who didn't know that Mu Qiqi's matter was comparable to hundreds of billions? "Help me investigate something." Mu Qiqi sent the forensic doctor's name over. "Find out what kind of impressive background this person has. I'll call you later." After Xing Xiao said that, he put down his phone and handed the name to Su Che. "Find out this person's 18 generations of ancestors." "Okay, CO." Su Che nodded. Chapter 644. Mu Qiqi hung up the phone and raised her eyebrows at the new forensic doctor. The new forensic doctor was called Dai Shi. Dai Shi looked at Mu Qiqi too. Neither of them was willing to give in. "We're all people who rely on our backgrounds. What's the difference between us? You're so great, but you only know how to look for Xing Xiao. If you're so capable, you should solve this problem yourself. If you want to solve it, you have to know who's behind you. I'm sure you know that my husband doesn't play by the rules. If he finds something he shouldn't, I'm really sorry." After that, Mu Qiqi dragged Feng Shanshan away. Feng Shanshan stared at Dai Shi. If anything happens to him, don't even think about leaving here alive. The other party looked at Mu Qiqi and Wan Qianqian indifferently as if he was not afraid of death. He wanted to see how they could turn the tide now that Tang Yen had gone to the front line. What should we do? Feng Shanshan looked at Mu Qiqi in a daze. Even if CEO Xing finds out about that bitch's background, there's nothing we can do. Mu Qiqi smiled and patted Feng Shanshan's shoulder. You're worried about yourself. Captain Tang has been through so many dangerous missions. Do you think he's in a desperate situation? On the contrary, if you ask him to come back now, he'll be very unwilling. Trust me, he'll do better than you can imagine. Really? Feng Shanshan and Wan Fei looked at Mu Qiqi suspiciously. Even if my husband finds out about that bitch's background, do you think you can pull him back? Based on his character, think about it carefully. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath. Although she did not want to admit Mu Qiqi's words, she was right. Tang Yen was a rigid person. If you ask him to come back now, he might not be willing. According to him, no matter how dangerous the mission was, someone had to carry it out. This person never treated his life as a life. As for that bitch, don't worry. We'll find a chance to teach her a lesson. Feng Shanshan had no choice. There was only one thing she could do now, and that was to wait. An hour later, Su Che found the information. This person's uncle worked in the headquarters and his position was not low. It was no wonder that Dai Li was so arrogant. From Su Che's information, he appeared to be a dedicated person who had nothing to hold against him. That was also why Dai Li was not afraid of Mu Qiqi coming to Xingshao. Still, if he was really a just person, he would not have helped his nephew by abusing his authority. That was why that was the biggest breakthrough for Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi. It's really watertight. However, as long as it's something that's on someone's mind, there must be some clues. In the few days that Captain Tang has been away, I think we can look for it. Feng Shanshan was just disgusted. Those who had power did not make good use of their advantages but arranged for others to die. Do you have a plan? Well? Mu Qiqi put her arm around her neck and pulled her closer to her. That uncle of his is a troublemaker. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if it's watertight. Don't forget that the existence of his nephew is the biggest evidence. Where did he study forensic science? What's his grades like? How did he get into the criminal investigation team without any real skills? Isn't that something worth paying attention to? Anyway, we're just small assistants. We have nothing to do in the station these few days. We might as well go out and ask around. What do you think? Sure. Feng Shanshan nodded. We won't rely on anyone this time. We'll rely on ourselves so that others won't lower our standards. Mu Qiqi snorted unhappily. Then let's do it. After that, Mu Qiqi looked at Dai Li's resume in the station. He actually graduated from a famous school and got excellent grades in every subject? With his level, he could not even get a passing grade. We can't alert his tutor about this. He might be on the same side as him. Let's ask his classmates. Mu Qiqi was very alert. Although she knew that his grades might have been tampered with and the traces had been erased, she felt that as long as she put in the effort, she would definitely be able to find some clues. It's best if we can get some evidence. In fact, it would be a piece of cake for Xingshao to handle this matter. But just like what the forensic doctor said, she could not do it without Xingshao. She would not force him to do other things. But for this matter, it was more than enough for her. In the evening, at Xing Mansion, Hu Ran stayed in her room and thought for the whole day. In the end, she told Grandpa Xing her thoughts. Grandpa, I might really not be suitable for third brother, because he is like family to me. But I don't have that kind of feeling for him. So, I might not be able to go on. When Grandpa Xing heard that, he felt helpless but understood. I've long seen it. People who really love each other can't be separated no matter what. Let's take eighth brother and Xingshao as an example. Look at them. Who can separate them? As long as you have made up your mind and discussed it, I have no opinion. I just hope that you can find your true happiness in the future. Hu Ran sat in the living room and thought for a long time until Xing Bowen came back. It's so cold. Why don't you go back to your room? I'm waiting for you. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow morning. Hu Ran said seriously. Third brother, you're very good. Really good. But you can probably feel the problem between us. We don't have the spark of love. It's even worse than when I played dumb. I've been thinking about it for the whole day. So, I still plan to end this relationship. Xing Bowen did not tell the Xing family about the current problems of Huang Yao. He just nodded. As long as you don't regret it. If we're really fated, I'd rather try and start over with you. Xing Bowen did not understand what she meant. Rest early. I'll wait for you at the door tomorrow morning. After saying that, Xing Bowen turned around and went to Xing Kai's room. Since they were going to divorce, it was not appropriate for them to stay in the same room. Hu ran sighed and got up from the living room. No matter what, their cooperation during this period of time was quite pleasant. However, Xing Bowen sat in Xing Kai's room and was in a daze for a long time. He really could not tell if this kind of sadness was heartache. After nightfall, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were still chatting with the ex-girlfriend of medical examiner Dai. It was not easy to get this news. When the two of them broke up, they were very unhappy. However, because she was worried about the other party's background, the girl was unwilling to say more after she understood why Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were here. Chapter 645. After Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan heard this, they looked at each other. This girl obviously knew more inside information. Of course, they also knew that they had to worry about the girl's safety. We understand your position. It's okay. Just give us a hint, even if it's just a little. The girl felt that Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were too difficult to deal with, so she sighed at them. Alright, I'll give you this. It might be useful to you. After saying that, the girl entered the room. After a while, she took out a USB and handed it to them. There's a screenshot of that bastard's results. I helped him check his results when he failed 4 subjects. The screenshot is the chat history I exported. But you have to keep it a secret from everyone, especially that bastard and his uncle. Can you not let them know that I provided this thing? Of course. Don't worry. The two of them were overjoyed when they got the evidence. But it was clearly not enough. That's it for today. Tomorrow we'll go to that bastard school and see if there's anything else. Mu Qiqi handed the small object to Feng Shanshan. Take it. I'll get to sleep. I know you'll feel at ease this way. You go back first. I'll go and look for the others. Feng Shanshan put the thing in her bag. At this moment, it was as if she was infected by Tang Yan's unwillingness to admit defeat. He had to do something about it. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she smiled. You still say that you don't talk about feelings. But in fact, without knowing it, you've been very affectionate. If it's President Xing who gets hurt, I believe you'll be the same as me, Feng Shanshan explained. Feng Shanshan explained, I learned this from you. Don't we have to work hard to protect our own things? In that case, I'll risk my life to accompany you. Do you think I can let you be alone? Having said that, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan planned to go to another place. However, just below the residential area, Xing Zhao's car was already parked at the entrance. Under the dim light, a peerless man in a brown coat stood by the roadside. Anyone who passed by would want to take a few more glances at him. Xing Zhao folded his arms and looked at Mu Qiqi. His eyes were like stars. You don't know how to go home if I don't invite you? Mu Qiqi walked up to Xing Zhao and grabbed his sleeve. It's not easy to get something. Feng Shanshan still wants to continue. So, we might have to visit a few families tonight. For another man? Xing Zhao raised a brow. I did it for her. She did it for her man. Mu Qiqi pointed at Feng Shanshan cleverly. Xing Zhao did not say anything. After 2 seconds of silence, he said, Get in the car. Tell me our next destination. You're going too? When we arrive, I'll wait for you downstairs, said Xing Zhao. Anyway, there are still some documents that we haven't read. It doesn't matter where we read them. Mu Qiqi kissed him on the cheek. I'll give you a reward when we get home tonight. It was Feng Shanshan's first time sitting in Xing Zhao's car. She thought that he was the boss of Jianchuan. However, the situation was urgent and she could not be picky. So, she opened the door of the front passenger seat and saw the baby-faced Su Che. You can clearly look for me. Why do you have to go through so much trouble? Xing Zhao sat in the car and asked Mu Qiqi. However, Feng Shanshan felt that it was not that he did not understand Mu Qiqi. Perhaps he simply thought that it was a small matter. No, what Xing Zhao really meant was, why did she have to go through so much trouble for someone else's man? Perhaps, only Mu Qiqi could understand the meaning behind Xing Zhao's words. So, she said to Xing Zhao, how can you make her wait anxiously for something like this? If it were you, I would definitely be worried if someone asked me to wait and try. I would definitely be worried. I would have to do it myself to be at ease. Because of Feng Shanshan's existence, Xing Zhao rubbed Mu Qiqi's head. Alright, he was satisfied with this answer. After Feng Shanshan heard it, she felt that the two of them had indeed reached a telepathic level. Perhaps only they could understand each other's language. Soon they arrived at the door of another classmate of Dai Fengji's. However, although the house in front of them was a villa, it looked extremely desolate. Feng Shanshan got out of the car and was about to ring the doorbell when she was stopped by the family's neighbor. Little girl, are you looking for this family for something urgent? It's urgent? I advise you not to go. In this family, other than a normal son, the father is paralyzed and the mother is mentally unstable. If you go in, you might get hurt. Thank you, auntie, but I really have something urgent. Feng Shanshan did not intend to back down. When it came to Tang Yan's matters, other than talking about feelings, she had never backed down. Alright then. I've already advised you but you didn't listen, the neighbor sighed and left. Feng Shanshan pressed the doorbell firmly. The person who opened the door was the person they were looking for. This person had a grudge with Dai Fengji in the past. Who are you looking for? The other party asked Feng Shanshan coldly. I'm looking for you. I want to know something about Dai Shi's past. I don't know if it's convenient for you. The other party glanced at Feng Shanshan and only said 2 words, I'm not free. After saying that, he turned around and left. However, after taking 2 steps, he turned back. What do you want to know? His academic performance? Humph, does he have any results? The man snorted. He doesn't attend major or minor classes and he's scared of blood. How can he be a forensic doctor? He's scared of blood. Feng Shanshan recalled how uncomfortable Dai Shi looked when he dissected Tang Yixiao's body. She thought that it was because the body was badly mutilated. She did not expect that it was because he was scared of blood. But what does it matter? He has an uncle anyway. He can go to any department he wants. In fact, just knowing that Dai Shi was scared of blood was enough to bring down that bastard. Why would he choose to be a forensic doctor when he was scared of blood? Was he sick in the head? In fact, most normal people would have some symptoms like this. However, after 5 years of study they were already immune to all kinds of poisons, but Dai Shi was still scared of blood? Did he think that he was still a freshman? Can you tell me more about Dai Shi? Many of Dai Shi's exams were taken by a person called Qin Yang. You can go and look for him. Having said that, the man turned around and went back to his house. He closed the door tightly as if there were 2 lions locked in the house. I've gained quite a lot. Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan and said, of course, the more evidence the better. That *TCH definitely wouldn't have thought that we would start with him. Chapter 646. Feng Shanshan did not move after hearing that. She quietly searched for Qin Yang's name on the list. However, because Qin Yang was not on Dai Shi's list of enemies, his name would not be on it. However, seeing that Feng Shanshan did not give up, Mu Qiqi crossed her arms and asked, don't tell me you still want to look for Qin Yang? We don't even know who Qin Yang is and we don't have any information about him. Where are you going to look for him? You and CEO Xing go home. I still want to take a look. Seeing that Feng Shanshan was about to move, Mu Qiqi quickly stopped her. Do you still want to live? It's already the middle of the night and you are still wandering outside. Do you have to do this for Captain Tang? Qin Yang will not run away. I know very well whether I have to do this or not. Qiqi, he is working so hard outside because of that bitch. If I don't find the evidence soon, I won't be able to live with myself. Mu Qiqi was helpless. She took a deep breath and turned to look at the man in the car. Although Xing Xiao was reading the documents, he also noticed the content of their argument. So he only squeezed out 2 words from his mouth. Get in the car. Although this little thing told Feng Shanshan not to continue, he knew that if it were not for him, the 2 of them would have rushed out long ago. Get in the car. Mu Qiqi pretended to look at Feng Shanshan. After making a few calls, Su Che confirmed Qin Yang's identity. Although he used to take the exam for Shi after he graduated, he started a business and had some achievements. Soon they arrived at Qin Yang's shop. As usual, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan went in while Xing Xiao waited in the car. Now this man was the owner of a bar called Night Wind. Seeing that it was such a place, Xing Xiao looked at the documents and said to Su Che, go out and protect him. Yes. Su Che immediately got into position. Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan asked the bartender about the VIP room where Qin Yang was. However, it was a mess inside. Several couples were singing and drinking. They were having a great time. Boss, these 2 ladies are looking for you, the bartender told Qin Yang. Qin Yang was sitting among the crowd. When he saw Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan, he waved at them. It's my honor to have 2 beautiful ladies looking for me. Why don't you sing a song first? We're looking for you because of Dai Shi, Feng Shanshan said directly to Qin Yang. No matter who you're here for and what you're here for, you have to drink first. That's the rule here. Qin Yang pointed at the wine bottle on the table and said to Feng Shanshan, Otherwise, why would I tell you? This person didn't look decent at all, and his body was filled with the temperament of a hooligan. He was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. He seemed to have drunk too much and did not look carefully at who was behind Feng Shanshan. Will you tell me if I drink this bottle on the table? Of course. I'm a man of my word. The men and women around him laughed when they heard that. Feng Shanshan was also someone who had been in the nightclub. So, a bottle of wine was not a problem for her. So she picked up the bottle and drank it. But after drinking, Qin Yang laughed happily and encouraged Feng Shanshan to drink again. You're a heroine. Drink again. After drinking this bottle, I'll definitely tell you. Don't believe him. He's going to blow you up. Mu Qiqi stopped Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan did not move. Feng Shanshan, he's obviously not thinking clearly now. Can't you wait until tomorrow when he's sober and come again? Must it be now? Since you're here, don't think about leaving tonight. Qin Yang gestured to the bartender to close the door. It was not easy for two cute girls to come. How could he let go of such a good opportunity? Are you sure you want to lock us up? Mu Qiqi crossed her arms and looked at Qin Yang. Do you know what we do? This girl looks a little like that Mu Qiqi, the one who always appears in the newspapers. The one who always appears in the newspapers. One of them recognized Mu Qiqi but was not sure. What about Qin Yang? He laughed out loud. Who is Mu Qiqi? I don't know her. I only know that people with status would never come to a place like this. If you two really want to ask me about Dai Shi, you have to pay the price, right? I don't like money. I just have a little hobby. Having said that, Qin Yang stood up and walked to Feng Shanshan. He wanted to reach out and touch her cheek. But at that moment, the door of the VIP room was suddenly opened. No one could see who it was. All they saw was Qin Yang's body flying to the wall. Everyone looked over and saw Su Che. Who are you? Do you want to die? Su Che took out a name card from his pocket and threw it to the group of people. Then he said, if you know what's good for you, get lost. Someone picked up Su Che's name card. When he saw it, his face changed and he quickly got up. He's from Zhongting. He's the assistant of Zhongting CO. Soon, only Qin Yang, Su Che and Feng Shanshan were left in the VIP room. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao slowly entered the VIP room. So, Qin Yang could not help but believe him. They're just two little girls. They just want to ask you a little question. Don't you think you're taking care of them too much? Qin Yang knelt on the ground, not daring to look into Xing Xiao's eyes. He could only stare at Xing Xiao's leather shoes. I didn't bring my brain with me. I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry, CEO Xing. If I knew it was your wife, I wouldn't have dared to do anything stupid. So, can you tell me now? Xing Xiao said impatiently. Yes. Qin Yang wiped the sweat off his forehead and explained, that Dai Shi has a powerful uncle. Back then he saw that I looked like Dai Shi, so he forced me to replace him for the exams. At that time, my grades were still passable, but because I had to take the exams for Dai Shi, I always missed the exams. In the end, I didn't even get my university diploma. If it wasn't for the savings at home, I'm afraid my life would have been ruined in Dai Shi's hands. Do you have any evidence? Feng Shanshan asked. Yes. I was afraid of taking responsibility, so I kept an eye on him. Because Dai Shi's uncle always came to me, I installed a camera in front of my house. Give it to me. Feng Shanshan said coldly. I'm a victim too. I was forced by Dai Shi's uncle. If you can guarantee that I won't be implicated, I'll give it to you immediately. The one who's going to be unlucky is someone else. Xing Xiao only said these words, but it was also a promise to Qin Yang. Chapter 647. Is there any other evidence? I remember I took the exam for him once. Dai Shi was not in the country at that time. He went abroad to have fun. You can check the exact time. It should be when he was in his second year, Qin Yang recalled. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi looked at each other. It was about time. With the screenshot of Dai Shi's ex-girlfriend and Qin Yang's video, if the time Dai Shi took the exam coincided with the time he went out, the evidence was basically solid. CEO Sheng, I've told you everything I know. Please forgive me. I didn't recognize you today. I'll kowtow and apologize to Mrs. Sheng. No need. Mu Qiqi quickly stopped him. She did not have that kind of bad taste. Next time, keep your eyes open before you go out. At least you can stay alive. What do you think? Xing Xiao hated the smell here. He frowned subconsciously. I'll listen to you, CEO Sheng. Qin Yang felt that his life was saved, so he quickly bowed. Xing Xiao glanced at Mu Qiqi and got up. Can we go now? I didn't expect that you still have to do it in the end. Mu Qiqi sighed and looked at Feng Shanshan. Can you rest assured now? Thank you, Feng Shanshan said stiffly. They quickly left the bar. This time Feng Shanshan was willing to go home. Perhaps this was finally a relief for her. Mu Qiqi watched Feng Shanshan leave and could not help but sigh. She said that she won't fall in love, but in fact she cares more than anyone else. She keeps saying that Tang Yen is a bastard, but she still fell for him and can't get out. She just doesn't want to admit that she's stupid. Xing Xiao loosened his sleeves and held Mu Qiqi's face. Do you think I shouldn't have helped you just now? Mu Qiqi was stunned. Are you still thinking about what I said just now? Yes. Mu Qiqi chuckled. We didn't use our brains just now. If you didn't save us, we would still be in trouble tonight. I know what's good for me, okay? There are some things that little girls like us can't do. I might have to rack my brain for an entire night, but that might not be as good as you coming out to meet Qin Yang. Compared to you, I really don't know how much longer I need to grow before I can stand on my own. Satisfied, Xing Xiao let go of the little one. There will come a day. I think so too. Having said that, Mu Qiqi lay down on his lap. There's going to be a good show tomorrow. I'm excited just thinking about it. Sheng Zhao's lips curled into a smile as he caressed the little one's lips. Tomorrow he would see how Feng Shanshan would use this evidence to avenge Captain Tang. Late at night, Yi clan. Mu Tongxue stayed quiet in Yi Mansion for the whole day. Except for talking to Yi Jingqing in the morning, she didn't say a word for the rest of the day. The servant of the Yi family told Yi Jingqing about the situation. Yi Jingqing quickly went to Mu Tongshue's room. Tongxue? I heard from the servants that you've been depressed the entire day. What's wrong? I'm fine, Mu Tongxue answered coldly as she sat on the bed. Yi Jingqing sat on the edge of the bed. Then he saw the fruit knife beside Mu Tongshue's pillow. What are you doing? I don't know. I just feel that my chest is tight and I can't live anymore. Seeing Mu Tongshue's half-dead state, Yi Jingqing knew that it was not a good idea to keep Mu Tongxue locked up like this. So, he quickly hugged Mu Tongxue and said, let's go out and relax tomorrow. Don't want to see you. Mu Qiqi, you're not my sister. I didn't kill Mom. After hearing what Mu Tongxue said, Yi Jingqing was stunned. Because he felt that Mu Tongxue seemed to be in a delirious state. Tongxue, look at me. What did you just say? Dad? I didn't kill Grandma. Yi Jingqing was completely stunned. After a while he stood up and called the family doctor. Did he really drive Mu Tongxue crazy just like that? It was impossible. Absolutely impossible. Soon the family doctor arrived at Yi Mansion. After a round of examination, Mu Tongxue finally fell asleep under the effect of the tranquilizer. Mr. Yi, she has been stimulated. There are signs of schizophrenia. I suggest that you send her to a big hospital for a checkup. Before that, don't stimulate her anymore. Yi Jingqing grabbed the doctor's collar and threatened him. Say that again. It's the truth. I can't do anything if you don't believe me. Yi Jingqing let go of the doctor's collar and said, get lost. Could it be that he had provoked Mu Tongxue by sending Mr. Lu away? Was Mr. Lu's influence on her that great? Yi Jingqing stayed by Mu Tongshue's bedside for half the night until she woke up. Why are you here? At that moment she seemed to have returned to normal. Yi Jingqing was overjoyed. He hugged Mu Tongxue tightly. Tongxue, you can go wherever you want tomorrow. Don't stay at home all day. When I'm done with my work, I'll go out with you. Mu Tongxue did not move and let him hug her. But her lips curled up in a place where Yi Jingqing could not see. This man's emotions were being manipulated by her just like that. Was he acting? She was at the level of a best actress. Needless to say, she wanted to fight for her freedom. She wanted to know Mr. Lu's current situation. After what happened to Tang Yen today, Mu Qiqi had not found a way to tell her about Mr. Lu's situation. It was hard to imagine if she knew that Mr. Lu was sent to the mountains to teach. Would she go crazy? Many people seemed to be suffering that night. Whether it was Feng Shanshan, Shin Bowen and his wife or Mu Tongxue, they were all trapped in their own destinies and could not get out of it. But tomorrow would be a new beginning, wouldn't it? However, in the wee hours of the morning, Feng Shanshan sent an anonymous document to a certain bureau with evidence. She even made a lot of copies of it. Because Dai she had bet Tang Yan's life with her. So, she wanted the other party to pay the price. In order to prepare the document, she spent the whole night writing more than 10,000 words. For Tang Yan she really put in a lot of effort. The man was her man. Even if Tang Yan did not have any friends or family, he still had her as his woman. So, Feng Shanshan had no scruples. The next morning, the people from the bureau received some of the documents. Of course, it was handled by Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan even sent a copy to Mu Qiqi, as if to remind her to wake up and watch the show. Today would be an exciting day. Chapter 648. Early in the morning, the people in the branch office were all gossiping. Although they knew that Daishi did not have any real talent, they did not expect that he had such a big boss behind him. He falsified his results and even found someone to take the exam for him. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi met at the entrance of the branch office and entered together. Soon they were dragged into the gossip army. Shanshan, Qiqi, did you receive the documents about Daishi? It's all over the police station. This person is really shameless. I didn't expect that to be how he got his identity as a forensic doctor. What's worse is that his uncle, who has an important position, actually broke the law. I really want to see what happens to him and his uncle. The senior brothers in the bureau could no longer hold back their complaints. It's fine if it's any other job, but it has to be a forensic doctor. It's a matter of life and death. The forensic doctor provides us with the key to solving the case. If he really wants to be gilded, why didn't he find another profession? Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan looked at each other. They were secretly pleased. That kind of trash should not be allowed to continue living freely. Presumably, Daishi's uncle was also starting to be badly battered by now. I really don't know who wrote the anonymous letter. It's really satisfying. Well done. He removed the cancer for our team. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi did not say anything and went straight to the forensics laboratory. However, what they did not expect was that Daishi had already arrived at the station. He was just hiding inside and did not dare to say a word. When he saw the two young ladies, he looked at them with hatred. You, what about us? Mu Qiqi asked Daishi. Did you send the anonymous letter to slander my uncle? Forensic Dr. Dai, please watch your words. It's not slander. It's the truth. Of course, it doesn't matter if you think it's slander. Anyway, your uncle has to give a reasonable explanation. Do you think he'll still be able to keep his hat on? Feng Shanshan declared solemnly. Daishi lost his imposing manner just now. He could only kneel on the ground with a thud. I really didn't expect. You really didn't expect us to start with you and not your uncle, did you? Mu Qiqi leaned against the autopsy table and crossed her arms. I think we've already warned you. You're too confident. Your uncle is indeed flawless. We can't see anything, but you're different. Your existence is the evidence. Right now, we're just helping you to recall your university life. I think it's wonderful. Don't you think so? Daishi knelt on the ground, his cheeks sweating. Spare me. I just want to be a forensic doctor for a year. I'm going to be transferred soon. I won't hinder you anymore. Instead of begging us, you might as well beg the person who took your uncle away. Alright, after all, it's a fake diploma. You might be taken away too. Daishi suddenly swallowed his saliva. He had never thought that these two girls would actually be so smart. He had thought that his plan was flawless, but they had managed to find the evidence. Daishi was speechless. The only thing left on his face was regret. However, at that moment, his uncle gave him a phone call. Daishi, go. I can't escape, but I've prepared a way out for you. Go quickly. Daishi, you should go. Uncle can't escape, but I've prepared an escape route for you. You should go quickly. Daishi, go. I can't escape, but I've prepared a way out for you. Go quickly. Daishi wanted to say something, but the phone was in Feng Shanshan's hands. Chief Chin, he's at the police station now. Where else do you think he can go? Who are you? The person who wrote the anonymous letter. After saying that, Feng Shanshan hung up and threw the phone back to Daishi. The phone fell to the ground. But Daishi knew that he had harmed his uncle's family. So, he didn't have the courage to pick up the phone. He was afraid of receiving a call from his aunt and cousin. If I knew you would do this, I wouldn't have provoked you even if I died. I wouldn't have taken revenge on Captain Tang. Only now did he regret it? Unfortunately, it was too late. As for Daishi's uncle, he would never know why someone wrote him an anonymous letter. Soon, the relevant departments came to arrest Daishi. They wanted to bring Daishi back to explain the situation. Daishi couldn't resist because he was already at the police station. Even if he wanted to escape, he had no chance. More importantly, he didn't have the intelligence to do so. But even so, he couldn't be transferred back from the dangerous mission. He still had to risk his life to complete the mission. Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan's joy disappeared. If something really happened to him because of Daishi's revenge, Daishi could be arrested. But who would compensate her for the loss of a man? Alright, I know you're still worried. But I believe in Captain Tang. He will come back safely. Perhaps it was because Daishi was not in the team, so everyone felt that there were fewer obstacles in their working environment. Plus, they could gossip about the chief, so their life in the branch office was unprecedentedly relaxed. At noon, Mu Chichi and Feng Shanshan were having lunch in the police station. But Mu Tongxue came to them again. After 2 days she seemed to have lost some weight. But Mu Chichi knew that it was just her appearance. No one knew what kind of person she was hiding under her delicate skin. So Mu Chichi put down the knife and fork in her hand. She crossed her arms and looked at Mu Tongxue. What do you think this place is? Do you think you can come here just because you want to? I've finally regained my freedom. Now I just want to know how Mr. Lu is doing. Mu Tongxue looked at the bodyguard sent by Yi Jingqing not far away from the door. Obviously she was afraid of them, but she couldn't help worrying about Mr. Lu. Mu Chichi took a deep breath and looked at Mu Tongxue seriously. Am I your Mr. Lu's bodyguard? I have to watch him all the time. Sister, don't call me so intimately. Who knows what tricks you're playing behind my back? Mu Chichi let go of her arms and put them on the table. Then she picked up the cutlery and continued eating. I've said that I won't treat you like before. I won't. I just want Mr. Lu to be safe. They were two sisters. They were not alike at all, except for the fact that they were obsessed with men. Yi Jingqing sent your Mr. Lu to a remote mountainous area to teach. Although your Mr. Lu clearly expressed that he would never appear in front of you again, Yi Jingqing didn't give him a chance. I knew it. There's no need to believe his words. Where is Mr. Lu now? Mu Tongxue sneered. Chapter 649. Mu Tongxue lowered her head and stayed silent for 2 seconds. When she raised her head again, her eyes were red. It seemed that Yi Jingqing had really hurt her. I'm leaving. After that, Mu Tongxue stood up. But before she disappeared, Mu Chichi grabbed her and said, I'm happy to see you fight with Yi Jingqing. But you should at least keep your life, right? Although you killed Mommy, she loved you the most when she was still alive. Don't let the Yi family inform me to collect the body. I'm telling you I won't go. Mu Tongxue did not say anything. She just quickened her pace. No matter how ruthless Mu Chichi was, she still had some pity for her. However, Mu Tongxue did not care about anything else. She just wanted to use the most vicious method to let Yi Jingqing taste the pain. In the afternoon. It was only then that the two sworn enemies of the Sheng family had truly completed their divorce procedures, and officially dissolved their relationship as husband and wife. Third brother, I hope we can still be friends when we meet again. Hu Ran stretched out her hand, wanting to shake Sheng Bowen's hand. But Sheng Bowen forced a smile and said, Of course the chauffeur is here. I won't send you off. I still have something urgent to deal with in Huangyao. Good luck. Hu Ran knew that she had nothing to do with Sheng Bowen now. It would be hypocritical if she said that. So, when Sheng Bowen turned around, she went back to the Hu family and asked the servants to take her luggage that she had packed yesterday. There were no vows, no etiquette, no blessings, and no love in this marriage. It started too fast and it ended too fast. Third young master is a decent man. Why did you insist on getting a divorce? Papa who could not understand his daughter. Why did she give up such a good man and give him to someone else? Don't blame me for not reminding you if someone else snatches him away in the future. Hu Ran did not say anything. She went back to her room. Now that she was a divorced woman, she did not know if her impression of her husband would be affected because of this. Perhaps, no one would believe that she still kept her first time after getting married. On the other hand, Sheng Bowen went straight back to Huangyao after the divorce. That was because Sheng Kai seemed to be up to something in the past few days. He was thinking of a way to deal with the Huangyao shares in his hands. As far as he knew, the sellers that Sheng Kai was interested in were not good people. They were all ambitious wolves. Although he was prepared for that, he still felt terrible when Sheng Kai betrayed the Sheng family. He had not told Grandpa Sheng about this. After all, the old man had just been discharged from the hospital. He did not want to agitate him again and send him to the hospital again. Now the situation had changed. He was in the light while Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling were in the dark. He did not know what kind of storm these two would stir up with the support of Gu Xiling's grandfather. In fact, Hu Ran had made the right choice to leave. He really did not have Xing Zhao's confidence in stabilizing the Sheng family. He simply did not know where else he could go. And Sheng Kai was such a sinister and ruthless person. After returning to the company, the secretary quickly went up to Sheng Bowen and said, "CO, there's a guest. He brought an entire team of lawyers with him. It looks like he's here to cause trouble." "Where is he?" He's in the VIP lounge. I know. Come with me. Sheng Bowen looked in the direction of the VIP lounge. He was really in a bad mood today. Another big financial group wanted to take over Xing Kai's shares. In the evening it started to rain in Jianchuan. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi came out of the laboratory. When they were about to go home, they saw Tang Yen coming back with injuries. His face was bruised and his forehead was red and swollen. It seemed that he had suffered a lot of external injuries. Fortunately, they were just external injuries. The first thing he said when he entered the police station was to Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi. You two don't leave yet. Come with me. The two of them looked at each other and followed him into the police station. Then all the people in the criminal investigation team were called over. I already know about what happened to Dai Shi. The anonymous letter was written by someone in our station. Who asked you to mess around? Tang Yen questioned everyone present. If it happens again, my team will not tolerate such a vengeful person. You must know your place. You are different from him. Feng Shanshan did not expect that after working hard all night, she would get such an attitude. After hearing Tang Yan's words, Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan worriedly. Obviously, Feng Shanshan's eyes were red and tears were rolling down her cheeks. You should have died on the front line. That's all. Dismissed. After saying that, Tang Yan did not look at Feng Shanshan. Instead, he went straight to the forensics laboratory to look for the professor. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi also left the police station together. Men are all big pig trotters. After listening to Tang Yan's retelling, the professor laughed. So, this anonymous letter was written by these two children. It was because you were threatened. Why didn't you stop them? How would I know that there are so many stories behind it? The professor shrugged helplessly. But you were angry in the office just now. We all heard it. Didn't you go too far? How can I learn from it if I go too far? After saying that, Tang Yen left the laboratory and drove home. He knew that it would hurt Feng Shanshan's heart. But what kind of identity was Dai Shi's uncle? He was the director of the bureau. Did he think that an anonymous letter could bring him down? Even if they had such a great influence, these people's backgrounds were often complicated and restrained each other. If someone found out that it was Feng Shanshan who did it, would the people on Chief Chen's ship let her go? Mu Qiqi did not care because she had Xing Xiao. But what did she have? She was so fearless. She did not know how much trouble she had gotten into. What if her enemies came to take revenge? Thinking of this, Tang Yen sped up and went home. But when he entered the living room, he did not see Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan took the blanket out and hinted to Tang Yen that he would sleep in the living room while she locked herself in the room. Lying on the bed, she felt very wronged. Men were rational and women were emotional. This sentence was not wrong to use on the two of them. Of course, Tang Yen was not good at explaining. Whether Feng Shanshan could understand his painstaking efforts or not, he would still do his best to protect her. For example, it was raining tonight. It was really a good weather for revenge. Chapter 650. Not long after nightfall in Yi Mansion. The bodyguard had told Yi Jingqing about Mu Tongshue's schedule, including her visit to the police station to look for Mu Qiqi. Yi Jingqing did not know that Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao had intervened in Mr. Lu's matter. He also did not know that Mu Qiqi had told Mu Tongxue about Mr. Lu's situation. He thought that Mu Tongxue went to Mu Qiqi to show off. If that was the case, he would be happy to see it happen. Are you feeling better after going out for some fresh air today? Mu Tongxue turned around and looked at Yi Jingqing. She nodded. Much better. Tongxue, you know that I only want you to be happy. I know. Mu Tongxue sighed helplessly. I really didn't expect your feelings for me to be so deep. Jingqing, I'm not worth it. You are worth it. I only want to give you the best, even if you want the moon in the sky. Actually, I've thought it through. Seeing Mu Qiqi living such a good life, I don't want to live a poor life either. After all, I'm from the Mu family. I'm the daughter of a rich family. How can I chase after a poor teacher? I promise to be with you. But I'm living in your house without a proper reason, and your parents don't like me. I feel very sad. After hearing Mu Tongshue's words, Yi Jingqing was overjoyed. He squatted in front of Mu Tongxue. Is what you said true? Of course it's true. Mu Tongxue nodded. Then I'll tell my parents now that I want to get engaged to you. Then you will have a proper reason. Yi Jingqing was too excited. What if your parents don't agree? It's useless. I must be with you. Wait for me. Having said that, Yi Jingqing left Mu Tongshue's room in a hurry and went to his parents' bedroom. Then he officially mentioned that he wanted to get engaged to Mu Tongxue. However, Mama Yi went crazy. Are you crazy? You brought her home. Your father and I don't care about you anymore, and you still want to get engaged to that little slut? Is there something wrong with your brain? Yi Jingqing 2 days ago she was so desperate for that teacher. Now she is willing to marry you. Have you ever thought about why? Because she understood that I'm still the best for her. Who knows what that little B*TCH is up to? Don't even think about it. It's impossible for her to like you. Yi Jingqing, I'm warning you too. If you insist on getting engaged to that little B*TCH, it's not impossible. Just get out of the Yi family and stop being our son. Then there will be no more obstacles. Yi Jingqing looked at Yi Jingqing. Mama Ye's words were very decisive. She did not show any mercy, but did Yi Jingqing care? He did not care at all. I'm just informing you. Mu Tongxue is mine. Mu Tongxue was upstairs and heard the mother and son quarreling. Of course, this was just the beginning of Yi Jingqing losing everything. Didn't he think that he could do whatever he wanted? When he had nothing left, he would know what it felt like to be trampled by others. In the middle of the night, Tang Yin put his hands behind his head and closed his eyes to rest. However, when the clock struck 12, he opened his eyes in the dark. Under the dim light, the sound of someone picking the lock was very obvious. Then the person gently pushed the door open. But just as he took one step into the living room, Tang Yin quickly grabbed the person's clothes and heard the sound of something smashing in the living room. When Feng Shanshan heard that, she quickly got up and went to the living room. But when she turned on the chandelier in the living room, what she saw was Tang Yin pressing 2 men to the ground. Call the police immediately. Feng Shanshan immediately went back to the bedroom to get her phone. Then she called the police in the area. What's going on? What do you think? Tang Yin asked her with his bare upper body. Your anonymous letter has damaged the interests of many people. It's very common for people to come to you for revenge. Feng Shanshan suddenly understood the reason why Tang Yin was angry today. He must have been familiar with these tricks and had already guessed that someone would come to find trouble with her tonight. Even so, I don't regret what I did. Are you out of your mind? I'm out of my mind. Feng Shanshan shouted. Are you my father? Do I need you to tell me what I do? If it's just for me, it's not worth it. I don't need you to teach me what to do. After saying that, Feng Shanshan turned around and went back to her room. She knew what she was doing. That was enough. The 2 orphans had nothing to begin with. She didn't care what she had to sacrifice. Tang Yin sent them to the police station. Of course, these 2 people directly admitted that they had broken into the house and robbed. It had nothing to do with killing them. Then Tang Yin drove home alone. Sometimes, he really didn't understand if it was because of the uncontrollable factor in Feng Shanshan that made him fall in love with her. When he reached home, he opened the bedroom door with the key and quietly lay down beside Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan wasn't asleep. When she felt the man lying down, she couldn't help but move her body away. However, as she moved, Tang Yin moved too. In the end, she really couldn't move, so she got up and said, "Sleep by yourself." Tang Yin didn't say anything. He reached out and carried her over. Can't you be more obedient? I have my own persistence. I haven't slept for 2 days. After hearing Tang Yan's words, Feng Shanshan finally calmed down. She let him hug her and gradually fell asleep. The next day, Mu Qiqi was still lying on the bed when she heard Xing Xiao say to her, "Third brother is divorced." Mu Qiqi wasn't fully awake yet. It took her a while to wake up and sit up. What did you just say? Third brother is divorced. Xing Xiao repeated to Mu Qiqi as he put on his coat. What happened yesterday? Hu Ran has moved back to the Hu family. It seems that there's really no spark between them. Actually, this is good. Third brother still has other choices. He just hasn't met a woman who can make him crazy. I thought you would carry on your matchmaking spirit and help the 2 of them get back together. There's no love between them. Why should I do such a useless thing? Mu Qiqi got up from the bed and hugged Xing Xiao's waist. Mu Tongxue came to me yesterday. I told her about Mr. Lu's situation. Looking at her expression yesterday, she will definitely prepare a big move when she goes back. Xing Xiao didn't move and let her hug him. After a while, he said, "How long are you going to hold her? It's really a kind of pain to not be able to love someone." Mu Qiqi suddenly sighed. Why am I so lucky? The person I love also happens to love me. Chapter 651. Since there was nothing to do in the police station, Mu Qiqi decided to visit Xing Bowen in Huangyao. This person was used to suffering himself. Even if he was wronged, he would care about others first. Thinking of his current situation in love, Mu Chichi bought some desserts for him when she passed by the cake shop. However, she still attracted a lot of gossip from the staff when she arrived at Huangyao. Mu Chichi found Xing Bowen's secretary. Knowing that Xing Bowen was not in a meeting, she asked him to introduce her to him. "Why are you here?" Xing Bowen quickly got up from his chair when he saw Mu Chichi. "Of course, I heard about you in the morning. So, I came to see if you were crying." Mu Chichi put down the cake and stared at Xing Bowen. "But you don't look sad. Is there really no love?" "You are not here to see me. You are here to stab me." Xing Bowen smiled bitterly. "I can't say that I have no feelings, but it is not deep either." They sat on the sofa and chatted for a while. Suddenly, the secretary who looked calm just now knocked on the door and said to Xing Bowen, "CO, something happened. Chichi, sit here for a while. I will go and have a look." "I will go with you," Mu Chichi said. Xing Bowen knew that Mu Chichi was on his side, so he did not stop her. They walked out of the office together. The secretary explained as they walked. "A customer came to the shop just now. He said that the diamonds he bought in Huangyao were fake. Because he is a VVIP member and is very domineering, the manager of the shop could not handle it. Huangyao had such a long history. How could they sell fake goods? I will go and handle it now." Having said that, Xing Bowen quickened his pace and Mu Chichi followed behind him. Of course, she did not think that it was a coincidence. Because Xing Bowen was in charge of Huangyao now, and he was famous for his loyalty and generosity. It was inevitable that someone would take advantage of his character to achieve their own goals. Especially those who knew him well, such as Shen Kai. They soon arrived at the counter on the first floor of Huangyao. At this time, the rich lady was sitting on the sofa angrily. She saw that the sales manager was already bowing and apologizing to her. But obviously she did not buy it. "Xiao Xing." When the crowd saw Xing Bowen, they quickly made way for him. When the man saw Xing Bowen, he pointed at him and said, "I've been a VIP customer of Huangyao for so many years and I've never bought fake goods. How could I have thought that Huangyao would also sell shoddy goods? I spent millions to buy it, but it was appraised as fake diamonds worth only a few thousand yuan. Third young master, don't you think you should give me an explanation?" Having said that, the rich woman threw the certificate in front of Xing Bowen. The diamond necklace, the receipt issued by Huangyao, and the appraisal certificate issued by an authoritative appraisal firm. Take a good look at it yourself. By the way, I'm not short of money, and I don't need your manager to kneel and apologize to me. I just feel that my years of trust have been fed to the dogs. From now on, I won't buy anything from Huangyao. Not only that, I'll see you in court." After venting her emotions, she got up and was about to turn around and leave. However, Xing Bowen stopped her. "Madam, please wait. What else do you have to say? Please give me 7 days to find out the truth. I will definitely tell you with facts and evidence that Huangyao has never sold fake goods since its establishment. In order to live up to your trust, I hope you can give me a chance to prove my innocence." Xing Bowen's words were humble and sincere, but he was trembling with fear. Seeing this, the other party's anger subsided. He nodded. "All right then. Since it's the first time, I'll give you a chance. If you still can't produce any evidence in 7 days, I'll call the police." "Thank you." The other party snorted and turned to leave. At this time, Xing Bowen turned to the secretary and said, "Find out the relevant personnel immediately. I want to interrogate them personally." "Yes, President." With that, the secretary quickened her pace and left. Xing Bowen looked at Mu Chichi behind him and said to her apologetically, "I'm afraid I don't have time to chat with you today. Let's meet another day. It seems like someone deliberately tampered with it. You should also investigate carefully. You might have let some people go, but it doesn't mean that they will be grateful. Moreover, when they want to take revenge, they will do anything. Be careful. No one can help you now." After hearing Mu Chichi's words, Xing Bowen chuckled. "You're really smart. You can see the problem at a glance. Look for Xiao Xiao if there's anything. Don't worry." Xing Bowen patted Mu Chichi's shoulder and comforted her. "I won't see you off. Go ahead." Hu Ran left him at this time and now Xing Kai came back. Just thinking about it made Xing Bowen's situation very uncomfortable. He was not a capable person who could control the whole situation, but at least he was doing his best. Mu Chichi took a deep breath and immediately left Huangyao. However, she did not know that someone was watching her every move in the dark. That person originally came to see how Xing Bowen would be defeated. He did not expect Mu Chichi to be there. These people who had once ridden on top of his head, he would definitely make them pay 100-fold or even 1,000-fold. After Mu Chichi left Huangyao, she went to the martial arts classroom and continued to practice her self-defense skills. Because Xing Bowen's incident told her that she was now completely under Xing Zhao's protection. Once Xing Zhao's umbrella lost its effect, she would be the same as Xing Bowen. She would become a target for everyone. That morning, Feng Shanshan and Tang Yen did not appear at the police station. Because Tang Yen had just made a great contribution, the higher-ups gave him a day off. Feng Shanshan was still angry, so when she woke up, she got up on her own and did not want to talk to this man. In their minds, each of them was the king and they were not willing to give in at all. They were clearly doing it for each other, but they had to fight like this. Although Tang Yen seemed to be quiet and did not like to vent his anger, he would not give in even half an inch when the line was really stepped on. What happened to letting her handle it? What was going on now? Tang Yen slept until noon. When he woke up, he saw Feng Shanshan taking something from a high place, so he walked behind her to help. Feng Shanshan only felt that she was shrouded by a tall figure. She turned around and was shocked. "Can't you wear pants before coming out?" "I want to take a shower." Tang Yen handed the thing to her. "Go take a shower." After saying that, Feng Shanshan turned her face away and went into the kitchen. She was still angry, very angry. However, after Tang Yen finished taking a shower, he received a call from the chief. He did not even eat and went straight to the branch office. Chapter 652. After a morning's training, Mu Qiqi went to Zhongting and told Xing Xiao everything she had seen and heard in Zhongting today. Xing Xiao sat in his chair and did not move. After a while he looked up at Mu Qiqi. "This is a problem that will always happen when managing a company. Third brother has a way to deal with it." "Then I'm making a mountain out of a molehill." Mu Qiqi held her chin and thought for a while. "But I always feel that there will be more serious consequences. Maybe I'm too narrow-minded. I'm always on guard against Shen Kai's revenge." After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Xing Xiao hooked his finger at her. When she walked to him, Xing Xiao said, "There must be something wrong with me if I make you feel so insecure." "It has nothing to do with you. It's a woman's natural instinct. It's our specialty to let our imagination run wild." Mu Qiqi sat on Xing Xiao's lap. "You continue. I'll sleep here for a while." After that, she yawned and put her head on Xing Xiao's shoulder. Then she closed her eyes and fell asleep. The secretary entered the office and saw this scene. She was not surprised at all. She just handed the important documents to Xing Xiao to sign without making a sound. In the afternoon, Yi Mansion was quiet. Mu Tongxue saw that Mama Yi was alone in the living room, so she went down to the second floor and walked to her. However, the current Mu Tongxue in front of Mama Yi was completely different from Yi Jingqing. "Little b***, I knew you were good at pretending when you were young. I was right about you. Even so, Aunt Yi, don't you still have to prepare a grand engagement ceremony to welcome me as your daughter-in-law?" Mu Tongxue sat beside Mama Yi and smiled at her. "I can't help it. I'm also a victim. Who asked your son to not let me go?" Mama Yi was speechless. She turned her head and looked elsewhere. "Since we're getting engaged, I'll tell you my request. As the man's parents, you should show me something. I'm not asking for much. I just want 5% of Yi Holdings shares. I don't want to be bullied by you after I marry into your family." After hearing Mu Tongshua's request, Mama Yi slapped her without hesitation. "I think you're crazy. It's already the luckiest thing you've ever had in your life to be engaged to my son. You still want the shares of Yi Group?" Mama Yi said. Mu Tongxue covered her face and laughed again. "It's fine if you don't give it to me. I'll ask your son for it. You know how generous he is to me, don't you? Even if I asked him to give me his heart, he would be willing." Before Mu Tongxue could finish, Mama Yi grabbed Mu Tongshue's hair and threw her to the ground. Then she kicked Mu Tongxue twice. "You're not worthy." Bah. At the moment, Yi Mu was ugly, not like a lady in a rich family. Of course, she believed that anyone would go crazy if they met a woman like Mu Tongxue. Mu Tongxue did not struggle. Instead, she lay on the ground moaning in pain. It was only after Mama Yi left that the servants of the Yi family who had been hiding in a corner came out to help Mu Tongxue up. Naturally, Mu Tongxue knew that she was hiding behind the screen. That was why she angered Mama Yi. She believed that the servants must have recorded the scene in high definition and was waiting to send it to Yi Jingqing. "Miss Mu, you're so pitiful. Why didn't you tell young master?" The servants helped Mu Tongxue upstairs and placed her on the bed. "I knew that his parents hated me, but I didn't expect them to hate me so much." Mu Tongxue cried silently. "What are you talking about? Speaking of which, I'm the one who insisted on being with him." Miss Mu, please don't say that. Have a good rest. When young master comes back, he'll come to see you. Mu Tangxue nodded and lay on the bed. On the other hand, Yi Jingqing had received the video from the servants. In the video he saw his mother punching and kicking Mu Tangxue. Therefore, he directly left the office and sped up to go home. Why are you back at this hour? Mama Mu was drinking tea in the garden. When she saw her son, she quickly asked. Yi Jingqing slapped her without a second thought. Whoever bullies Tangxue is my enemy. Even you can't do it. Mama Yi was stunned by Yi Jingqing's slap. It took her a long time to react. Are you crazy? You bastard? How dare you hit me? Mom, I'm warning you. If you bully Tangxue again, I'll pay you back tenfold. By then, don't blame me for being merciless. At this moment, on the second floor, the window of Mu Tangshue's room was open. She crossed her arms and looked at the movements in the garden. Then the corners of her lips curled up. The show had just begun. In the afternoon, Yi Holdings released the news that Yi Jingqing was getting engaged to Mu Tangxue. It was published in the newspaper. It showed how much Yi Jingqing valued Mu Tangxue. Mu Qiqi frowned when she read the newspaper. She didn't know if Mu Tangxue was sincere or not. Was it because she wanted to take revenge on Yi Jingqing or because she fell in love with power again? Of course, she was more inclined to the former. However, she didn't expect that the person in question would come to the police station so soon to share her answer. Are you here to ask for my congratulations? Mu Qiqi was wearing a white coat. She was called back to the lab by the professor in the afternoon. She was accompanying the professor in his experiment. Yi Jingqing does hope so, but... Mu Tangxue approached Mu Qiqi and whispered in her ear, I'm here to invite you to watch a good show. How do I know that this isn't your plan to deal with me? Sister, I'll watch over Mr. Lu no matter how much you love brother-in-law. You must come next weekend. I promised you that I'll take revenge for you. Mu Qiqi didn't agree to Mu Tangshue's invitation, but she could feel her hatred towards the Yi family and Yi Jingqing. Although Mu Tangxue was indeed a sinful person, she didn't want Mu Tangxue to disappear from this world. After that, Mu Tangxue left. But when she left, Mu Qiqi noticed that there were fingernail scratches on her face. And the way she walked was not right. She must have been slapped or treated violently. Why did she do that? Feng Shanshan saw Mu Qiqi standing at the door for a long time, so she leaned on her back. What are you thinking about? You look so focused. I suspect that Yi Jingqing did something to Mu Tangxue, said Mu Qiqi. Didn't I say that the wicked will be tortured by the wicked? What? Do you feel sorry for her? Mu Qiqi didn't say anything because she didn't know how far Mu Tangxue would go in order to destroy Yi Jingqing. Although she was happy to see it happen, Yi Jingqing was a man who would do anything to achieve his goals. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.